is Raw Live, number 5. I like that rhymes. It's a good start. It's a good start to the show. And I'm going to have a guest today. Of course, like usual, I have a guest, but it's the same guest we had last week. So he's practically a co-host now. We're going to have Polo. Let me add him to the stream. Polo, can you hear me? Oh, actually, wait up, Polo.
Yo.
Your headphones. Wait up real quick. This is my mistake.
Yo, what's up, Isra?
Polo.
What's up?
All right, my bad.
Hey.
I need headphones. I need headphones. It's off to a rough start, but I need headphones. Okay. Let's go.
Let's go, man. You know I'm welcome. I can come here every week if that's cool with you, bro. I'm off.
Yeah, man. Whenever you come on, whenever you want, man. This is an open thing, and I like you as a guest, man. I like you as a guest.
Man, I like being on your show, bro.
Oh man, I want better headphones. Can you hold the fort real quick? They can hear you talking.
Yeah,
you just talk. Okay.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, man, it's I'm very excited. There's a lot of boxing, MMA this weekend. We got the Bellator card tomorrow. We got, of course, Spence versus Ugas on Saturday. We got Conor Benn, having a little, in between matchup that trying to work his way up for a world title. Not really, but he's trying to better his competition. So if he stops this guy under a certain amount of rounds, he'll make a statement. We got a UFC card, 2 top 10 welterweights going at it with Vicente Luke and then Bilal Muhammad, I think that's his name. And yeah, so much sports and combat sports this weekend.
What we talking about? UFC,
Bellator, boxing, because there's a Bellator card tomorrow, man.
I had Daniel Kinahan ready too. Whenever we're gonna talk Kinahan, I have him ready, picture ready. But my boy Broadway, look at this. Polo needs to stop fucking around and get a YouTube channel. I agree.
I agree. No, I'm gonna work on it, bro. That's what I'm gonna do. I've been very it's hard for me to. I gotta call him up for it because he's gonna help me set it up. But yeah, man, what you think of the Bellator card tomorrow?
It's good. It's like honestly, I thought AJ McKee would be a bigger star by now. If I would be honest with you, like I thought that the last fight he had with Pitbull was going to be his catapult into stardom, and it hasn't played out that way for him. In my personal opinion, I don't think that there's. I think this is a good fight. This is a good matchup. I don't think there's like extreme buzz like there was for the first time they fought, but
there was remember they had the little tournament. That's
I know, but that should have springboarded him to stardom, and it hasn't yet. It has not springboarded him into stardom yet.
I think. And you think if he was in the UFC, he would be a big star?
Yeah, well, everyone in the UFC is a bigger star because it's the UFC. They have that brand behind them, that giant marketing, that giant. Everybody trusts UFC. It's like you just go to it. It's like like Kleenex are not called, or Kleenex is a brand. It's not they're called tissues, right? But people call them Kleenex. Like, let me get a Kleenex. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what the UFC is. There's like a lot of people don't even know, like, won't even call it MMA. They just call it UFC. Like, I'm gonna go watch a UFC fight. Not an MMA fight. I'm watching a UFC fight.
Yeah, they have all the eyes too, like all the sponsors.
Yeah.
But like the thing I like about Bellator, though, in my opinion, like I'm a fan of. I watched one championship. I've seen some UFC cards. But, one championship comes on different, like, weird times. But with Bellator, what I like about them is they actually have more stacked divisions. If you really pay attention, their 205 division is way more stacked than what the division is at UFC. Like, the 205 division at UFC is pretty weak. And then if you look at the welterweight, their division is stacked, bro. They got Page. They got Douglas Lima. They got that Ukraine dude that's undefeated. Like, if you pay attention, there's certain divisions that they have way better talent. It's just they need that extra marketing. And I'm surprised because they're on Showtime. And I heard the Showtime president, Steven Espinosa, talk about it. I'm like, yo, like, you should push for that Bellator push to get, like, up to the UFC. And I believe they can. It's just the marketing isn't there.
Yeah, I think it's really hard, honestly. Like, it's going to be really hard to they're never going to surpass UFC. They would need, like, laws to change for them to surpass UFC. But I think what would help, and this is like a model that all these MMA promotions have that I don't get, is they always get like recycled fighters that were UFC fighters. And then so it already hurts your product. Like when you get a guy and he's a good fighter, like who was their heavyweight champ for a long time? The ex-UFC guy.
Oh, are you talking about Ryan Bader?
Bader, right? Like Bader was never, he was a contender, but he was never, like, no one ever thought he'd be a champion. No one ever thought he could beat Jones. No one ever thought he was the best light heavyweight at any point in time of his career. But when you make that, when you bring him along and then you make him your number one guy, it like kind of diminishes your product because then you just feel like you're watching like the minor leagues of it. It just really does, and it's kind of unfortunate. It's just they need to.
He did win
You need
the
to
Ultimate
develop your own
Fighter,
talent.
though.
No,
That
I
is
know, but
true,
you need to
though.
develop your own talent. You need to develop your own talent. What's better is like with AJ McKee is I don't know how he looks in the UFC. So there's still a level of mystery there where I can make a debate and say that he could beat Volkanovski, right? Even if I don't believe that, but I haven't seen it. So there's no limitation on what he can be. But when you have Bader, I know what his limitation is. He's not going to beat Jones. He's not going to beat DC. He's not going to beat those guys. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know about the 205 right now. It's weird because he's coming up and down. He's at heavyweight right now. Well, he just fought at heavyweight.
205 is weak though in the UFC right now. I'll give you that. Like it's weak unless Jiri is like like goes and destroys Glover, right? And then you could be like, okay, well that guy could possibly be the best.
No, but they got Nemkov, the Russian guy that's fighting Corey
Anderson. Nemkov is good. He's good. Like they have a legitimate argument that they're the best 205er.
They're stacked. They got Phil Anderson, Phil Davis. Phil Davis was only in the UFC for a little bit. The thing with Bader is he won the Ultimate Fighter, so like there was some debate. He did actually end up fighting Jones before he got into the title picture. It's just it was kind of like he was a contender, but you gotta understand with the UFC, it's like the competition. It's kind of hard in certain divisions, but right now
that's
what
I'm saying.
Bellator,
but that's what I'm saying.
Got like another one.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, oh, go ahead.
My bad. Another example. Who's that guy that was at one championship that actually fought Jones, but he's in the heavyweight division? I can't remember his name. He's like half Filipino. He's actually
Brian Vera.
Vera, yeah.
Ryan. What the heck is his first name? I'm saying Brian Vera is a boxer. Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera.
Yeah, he was a one championship heavyweight, dude. I'm like, dude, John Jones, like,
he was stacked on steroids too when he went to one championship. Like he got like super stacked on steroids. That dude was jacked because like in UFC he was kind of like skinny fat in a way, like a little bit. And then he goes to somewhere else and he's just all ripped, looking like Alistair Overeem. So yeah, he's all on steroids. But yeah, I'm just saying though, like when those guys get a guy that used to be in the UFC and he clearly had lost in the UFC. And then you go and put him in another promotion. It kind of diminishes your promotion. I think I'd rather see new talent. Like they have Aaron Pico. Now, Aaron Pico's hit a few walls, right? Where like he's been knocked out a few times. And that's like not the greatest thing if you're hearing for a guy that's going to be like the next big thing or a prospect. But when he is on his A game, he's amazing talent. And it's like, and I haven't seen him in the UFC, so I don't know what he's going to look like.
And I haven't seen him get. Well, they got Nemkov, they got McNee, they got some talent that.
They do. They do. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's better. I like where that is now. So I think if they have a chance to grow, it's with this talent. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what McKee does. I mean, he's already talking about he wants $1 million per fight, which I don't know if that's even possible. Like with Bellator, I don't think that's possible. But that's what he said he wants. And if he doesn't do that, then he'll go to the UFC. He said, which is probably where he ends up, honestly.
Well, I mean, but he's not going to get $1 million in the UFC, though, right?
Maybe if he could leverage it, being like you're gonna take Bellator towards like number one talent. Maybe he does. I don't know. It's just all about what you can leverage. The UFC could hype him up like they did Chandler, right? I don't think Chandler gets $1 million, but I don't think Chandler had the buzz that McKee has, right? McKee
Michael Chandler did have somewhat the buzz. If you actually know, like to hardcores, he did because you gotta remember he was with Strikeforce, wasn't he with Bellator too? He won No, he was in other promotions too.
Who Chandler?
Yeah, Chandler definitely had some hype behind him. It's just the fact that
but remember when Chandler came here, he had lost. He was coming off like 2 losses, I think. He lost to Pitbull and he lost the lightweight title.
Yeah,
he lost the Pitbull lightweight title, and then he had lost before that. I think he was coming off 2 losses.
No, I think he got a win in between because he did lose the title, but he beat remember Benson Henderson?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's another recycled guy from the UFC. Okay, Broadway asks, overall, is the talent at one championship and Bellator equal or better or worse than the UFC? It's worse.
Oh, it's kind of hard. No, but one championship they got the Johnson guy, though. He's still
okay, so they'll have, I'll explain it. They'll have one guy, right, that could possibly be, like, equal to the UFC's talent, maybe possibly even better. But they don't have like the depth is not even close. Like if you did like on average the division compared to the UFC's division, the UFC division is like superior. It's not even close. These are not even close. They do not have the talent there. Bellator's working their way up. They got like a lot of hot prospects like Khabib's cousin and
Oh
like a
yeah,
lot of guys from like Khabib's camp actually.
Venom Page. They got Douglas Lima
Venom
was
Page.
considered. They got
Douglas Lima was
Lima.
because Lima had like an
Um,
argument. He was the best welterweight for a little
how
bit, and
about
then he's
how
done.
about the Ukraine dude? The Ukraine dude's a beast. I'm telling you, bro. I think he could be a problem.
The
They
the one that beat Lima, you're talking about,
Douglas
right?
Lima. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's
But
good. He's really good. They just one of these guys needs to hit on a star, and I'm just like, no, I'm really curious on how they would do that because every star is going to want to go to the UFC. You know what I mean? So like, it's hard to sign guys, the hottest prospects. Like the only reason they got Khabib's cousin is because he wanted to do something different than what Khabib did. He didn't want to just do what Khabib did. He wanted to go and
yeah,
dominate Bellator and then maybe go to the UFC after. But that's like, it's just kind of like a feeding ground to the UFC right now. It's kind of like what the XFL wants to be to the NFL.
yeah.
Right now,
The
that's what it
thing is
is.
with Khabib, his cousin is if he say he does dominate Bellator, you know what I like when they go to other promotions. What I think I like is like how obviously it didn't work out for him, but what's that dude that got knocked over Masvidal? Ben Askren. He was in one championship and he was at Bellator. It's like it's kind of cool when they come from another promotion. Like say they go from one championship to Bellator to UFC. It's like yo, I'm a two division champion in the other division, other company, so I'm coming to take over, and they do that. But we don't see that. I think if they do that, they have a strong argument to being like, yo, I'm the best in the world, and they could probably make big money because you could be like, yo, I was a champion at this company and this company. Like, check my resume out. So I think that's what Khabib's cousin is trying to ultimately do.
Yeah,
What
maybe.
division is
Yeah,
he in?
he's 145, I believe.
He's undefeated still, right?
He's undefeated. He's undefeated.
Yeah, Khabib is really like, dude, he's an amazing coach, but he has a lot of talent under his wing, and I like him, man. I wish if he would have continued longer. Arguably, in my opinion, I think he's better than John Jones. Resume wise, obviously, there's an argument there, but like overall, like he represented the sport. Like, dude, there's arguably hard to find rounds that he lost. Like he fought all the top of guys, like
I
Justin
would have
Gaethje.
liked him. I think it would have solidified him as the best, like ever, if he would have went to welterweight. At least, show me what it looked like him at welterweight. I'm just
Dude, he
curious,
was
right?
strong. I think he could, bro. His ground game he's too strong. Dude, did you not see how he dominated Gaethje? How he dominated Dustin? Look at Dustin and Gaethje. They just literally fought. Well, Dustin just lost to the lightweight champion. Justin Gaethje, arguably, is about to fight this dude, and we don't know what's gonna happen because if he ends up winning, it's like look at the resume he had. He
No, yeah,
destroyed.
no, he's amazing. Like I said, he's probably like number two, debatably. You could debate he's number one, but I'm just saying if he went
I
to
would say
welterweight, you just
I
wanted to
would
see. I
say
just kind
John.
of wanted to see it.
I think it's between him and George St. Pierre and Khabib. It's between them two. It's really hard because like you can make an argument that Khabib hardly ever lost rounds and he's undefeated with George. The resume. John Jones is number three is because like to be honest, bro, arguably I think he lost to like Santos fight and Reyes fight. But with the Reyes, it was just more because like it was the first time he got dropped like that, and like the things going outside, and obviously we gotta take the personal things he like didn't
Yeah,
they have
but
to
you
change
can't.
the rules for him too? Like at one point, remember when he was making a comeback, they had to change states to do the UFC event. Like they
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
hold
yeah.
it.
He wasn't. They were going to hold him at the where they were supposed to have it. But
Yeah,
the thing is, like with John Jones, like okay, we could say like okay, he had those performances, but he got the win officially. So it's hard to
but how many
measure that
times did
against
he?
him.
How many
It
times
was
did he fail though? Like
I
I
was
understand if it's like
yeah,
if you
okay.
do it, but
He
a
definitely okay.
lot,
So here's the things weighing against John Jones. He pissed hot multiple times.
multiple times.
Okay, pissed hot. He has
He missed
two
the test on
losses.
purpose.
Yeah,
Remember, he missed the
he has
test on.
two or three that could be debatable that are losses. Gustafson, Reyes, and Santos. I think those are all debatable.
I think the Gustafson fight he edged out by a little bit. I know the Reyes and Santos fight were, but if you want to have the strongest argument, the Reyes fight was like, yo,
Okay.
I've never seen Reyes took him down and dropped him like a few times. So it's like, yo, and I think it was 3-2. I think Reyes started off on a strong lead. It's just John Jones obviously won the two last. I think what it was, bro, and I look at it as a business. They probably wanted him to stay undefeated for him to. They thought that he would, go to heavyweight, fight Francis Ngannou or Stipe, and that's a mega fight. But obviously, we saw that he took a 2 year layoff, and I don't know if he's ever gonna come back. I think they were trying to set up the Stipe Francis Ngannou winner because remember, Francis Ngannou was on a tear at that around that time, and Stipe was still a champion until he fought DC and then beat DC. So they wanted to see maybe set up a third fight with with DC or set up a fight with the winner of Stipe uh DC. But remember, DC ended up losing and then Stipe fought Ugano and then Ugano beat him.
You got smoked. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing, okay, so like we're saying though, like a close losses, right? Well, then you have George St. Pierre lost to Matt Serra. I mean, that's a horrible loss to have. He
but
has a
avenged it,
debatable.
though.
He did avenge it. I'll give you that. He has a horrible. Like, he has a close. Not sorry, a close fight with Hendricks. Very close to like people think he lost.
Yeah,
There's definitely like people who make argument they lost. He does win the middleweight title, but that's like
but he
probably
beat
the weakest
Bisping.
middleweight champion you could possibly
No, you
beat.
can't say that, bro. He beat the man
Bisping is
that beat
the.
the.
Bisping is
Bro, he
probably the
beat the
weakest
man. Listen,
middleweight champ of all
listen.
time. I
He
mean,
beat the man that beat the man. So listen, it's like how we say, okay, Chris Weidman beat Silva, one of the most dominant middleweights we've ever seen. Then
okay.
Weidman loses to Luke Rockhold. Then Bisping beats him. It's like you can't really say that because he beat the man that beat the man.
He
And then
did. He did. He beat the man that beat the man. But the one thing is like, okay, so
in,
let's just
oh
keep
yeah,
this
he won a
logic.
division.
Let's just keep this logic, right? Let's think of another. Okay, it's like beating Matt Serra, right? Okay, Matt Serra beats GSP, right? Is Matt
Mhm.
Serra a great welterweight now? No, he's not a great welterweight.
No,
Like, let's be honest, he's
he just
not.
had a
So
good win.
whoever beats him, exactly, he just has a good win. So whoever beats him doesn't mean that, oh, that's an all-time great win. No, he's just like you beat the guy that had a great night and beat the champ, and the champ may have had a bad night, right? I'm not taking
Yeah,
anything away from him, but it's just like not an all-time great. There's not consistent performances there to show that Matt Serra's an all-time great. So there's not
yeah,
consistent performances there by Bisping to show that he's an all-time great middleweight. He's not. It was the weakest middleweight. They matched it perfectly and GSP took that chance because he thought I could beat this guy. He wouldn't do it
yeah.
against. If it was Whitaker, he wouldn't have done it. That's why he was supposed to fight Whitaker, and he left. He retired, and that's
Yeah,
why
but
Dana
he
White
was
was
calm.
super pissed
Remember?
about that.
But remember he did retire for a little bit because remember he fought Nick Diaz or something like
Yeah, no,
that. He
he
fought somebody.
retired, and then
He
he said, "I
fought
want to come
somebody.
back for the title." And what happened was they said, "Okay, you got to come back, but you have to defend the belt against Whitaker." And he said, "Yes, I'll do that." And then when he won, he said, "Screw that, I'm not going to fight Whitaker," and he bounced out, and then that left the title open. So
Yeah,
that's
that
what
was kind of,
happened. That's
and
what I'm
then that's
saying.
where Whitaker fought Joe Romero, right?
Yeah, to me, it's like a Roy Jones, John Ruiz win. Like he won a heavyweight technically, but you know what I mean. It
But you
wasn't.
got to give him. But I mean, he still beat the best middle. We can't say that he
I
still
don't think he
beat
was
him.
a.
Obviously,
He beat the guy that was a current champion. I don't think he was the best middleweight. Like
who
I
was the
don't.
best middleweight at the time? Though I mean, Whitaker, he was coming up, but you
Yeah,
can't say
Whitaker was the
Whitaker.
best middleweight,
You
but
think so?
yeah, I think Whitaker
I
was the
mean,
best middleweight at that time. You had a few guys at that time that it was okay. The division was down because Anderson had just lost. Weidman lost to Rockhold, right? Is
yeah,
that right? Weidman lost to Rockhold.
yeah, yeah. No,
Okay, I
no,
don't
no.
remember
So
that
I'll
fight
tell you. So remember that
because Weidman goes on a run. He
Wyman, yeah,
beats,
Wyman goes on the run because he just beat Silva. He beat him twice.
and
Then
then he
he
beats
loses
Lyoto.
to, yeah. Then he loses to Luke Rockhold, and then Luke Rockhold loses to Michael Bisping. Remember?
Yeah, no, I know Luke Rockhold loses Michael Bisping. I was trying to remember how he got the title, but okay. So yes, then he gets knocked out by Bisping. But yeah,
Yeah.
to me, it's just like a good night for Bisping. But I don't think like that's a great middleweight win for GSP. I don't even think that's in honestly his top 5 wins of
No,
all
but it
time. I
should
don't
be
think.
up there because I mean he did something. No matter if it was, I mean, bro, they did like example like George St. Pierre won divisions in 2 weight classes, 2 belts. John Jones still has to do that. John Jones did have a long run, but I think George St. Pierre and Khabib were levels above because of
Okay,
the way they and obviously them not and they were just a better representation of the sport. Like let's be honest, George St. Pierre brought like views
okay.
up, and
Let's say
obviously you can
like
say,
let's say
hmm
Mark Hunt, right? Mark Hunt comes out of retirement and he fights Nagano, and this just say that Mark Hunt lands a good shot and he knocks out Nagano cold. And then John Jones says, no, let's go even like a stranger one. Let's go to middleweight. Let's say Izzy goes to heavyweight. And Izzy says, yeah, I'll fight Mark Hunt. And he smokes Mark Hunt. Are we
hmm
gonna say like, oh, that's a great heavyweight win? No, it's not. It's a guy that took his he took his opportunity when he felt it
conquer
was
this,
most
yeah,
when it
yeah,
was most easiest, it was the most easiest way to victory. That's what he did. The most easiest way to a title. So I
definitely.
can't say so I can't say it's a great win by GSP.
But
I don't think that.
I mean, he beat the world champion. It would be different if Izzy say fights like DC. I think that would be a better example because DC's been out, but I mean, I think might be too much.
That's what I'm saying. But DC is a credible heavyweight because he's done it over all his time. He's showed. Now DC right now, who's old, okay, it's a little bit less impressive. But DC and during his title run, and he did that, then yeah, that's a
Yeah,
hell of a win.
but I don't even know if Izzy's ever gonna go up to a fight because we saw him fight like the man, and
Yeah,
he got fooled. That was like
he looked
the
small. He
size
looked
difference.
small. Yeah, he looked really small,
He would
and he
have to
kind
wait
of
until those guys moves up or something. They need to make a middleweight division. No, not a middleweight, but like in between heavyweight and light heavyweight. Do you agree? I think that jump is way big because like
It's the
you're
biggest
coming from
gap. It's
205
20 pounds.
and you're coming. You know those guys are like 250. Come on, Faris Lugano weighs
No.
at
I
least
know.
and then
Oh
you
wait, are
got
you talking
Steve Phil
about heavyweight or are you
heavyweight.
talking about? Oh, you're talking light heavyweight to heavyweight.
Yeah, those guys are
Yeah, so you want a
huge.
bridger weight in the UFC. You want a bridger weight
Yeah,
division.
that's what I think we should have. Well, we're about to get that in boxing pretty soon. I don't know. I like it because like, it measures because someone can get in the field and then once when they're ready for heavyweight because that's a big jump. Like that's what we are. We arguably don't see cruiserweights go to heavyweight like that and have be like successful. Besides Evander Holyfield, David Hay, and Usyk. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, well, I think the UFC too, especially because grappling is such a big thing
oh
in
yeah,
the
and you're
UFC. So
yeah,
you
you're
can't like wrestling against like a guy that's like Brock
like
Lesnar, right? And
280.
you're light 205, like you're like 210,
You're
215. Like
it's
that's a
pretty
huge
common.
difference.
You're gonna get dominated unless you're
Yeah,
freaking
yeah.
like strong, like yeah. But what you think of the Bellator cards? What are your picks tomorrow? What are the two main events?
I'll take McKee in the rematch. I honestly picked against him in the first fight. I thought he was gonna lose. But
Experience.
I just kind of thought that like he gets wild sometimes in his stand up. And I don't know,
Yeah,
like to me, it wasn't like he like placed his shots like that great, or he just didn't like connect things. Like I just thought he kind of just like reacted a
yeah,
lot of the time. And I just thought Pitbull, who was like really sharp at that point, was just gonna pick him apart in the stand-up. And he lands that kick, perfect timing, everything that I thought he wasn't gonna do, he did perfectly, and he gets a first round finish. I think that I want to see where Pitbull is. I think that loss could have took a lot out of him. I want to see where he's at. I think that McKee's gonna have all this confidence. I think Pitbull might have a little bit down in his mind. So I'll take McKee. I didn't get the chance to fully break down that fight, so I'm not 100% confident in that pick, but I'll take McKee. And then Nemkov, I'll take Nemkov in that.
Nemkov. I
Nemkov.
got
Yeah, I'll take
Nemkov went to
Nemkov in that fight.
tournament. That's the final, man. We've been waiting
Yeah.
for this stuff. That was the Grand Prix light heavyweight tournament. We gotta see stuff like that in the UFC, man. I miss those Pride things where they would have like
Oh, the
New
tournaments.
Year's. Yeah, New Year's. I
The
remember
Pride
you
would
would
do the tournament. The Pride would do the tournament in one in it would do the tournament in one night. It would do like
yeah.
you would fight like 2 or 3 times in a night.
I know the New Year's. Oh yeah, Pride was the stuff. I think
Yeah,
they
I
got a
remember
new one, right? They got
the first
Rising,
one.
right?
Let me see. Broadway said, "All this MMA talk lets me know how little buzz, but Spencer Ugas has." I don't know about that. I think Spencer Ugas got pretty good buzz. It's just
Yeah, it does. It's just,
I let Polo start the show, and I came back and he was talking Bellator. So it just
but I mean,
we
we got the Bellator.
we
We're
got the
talking
you got the
comeback
ball
sports.
rolling like that. Yeah, no, I respect
This
it.
is
I just got
comeback
the ball
sports.
rolling. It was just when I
Yeah.
pictured like this podcast, I didn't picture Bellator like to be the first topic. I thought we might finish with Bellator, but we opened up with
But
it. So I
it's
mean,
Friday.
like
Remember, tomorrow's Friday, and then we're gonna
that's
go
true.
with
That's
Saturday.
true.
So yeah, those are my two picks. But I wouldn't be surprised if Pitbull does. But I think yeah, McGee and Nemkov.
Who's Aaron Pico fighting? Aaron Pico's fighting on that card. Who's he fighting?
Yeah, I saw the guy who was fighting. I was watching the weigh-ins, but I can't remember his name. But he's like the third fight before the co-main and the main
Because
event.
Aaron Pico's been being brought up for a long time. It's like I know they're worried about his chin, but they're gonna have to take a chance with him. I want to see who he's fighting. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah. But I'm
Aaron
excited though, because
Pico.
it's like tell Broadway this is like the light heavyweight tournament. Like this is the final. Like Phil Davis fell through, Ryan Bader lost, Joe Romero. Well, he couldn't even participate because remember he couldn't pass or something that he wasn't cleared, and then they got the other guy that lost. Remember Rumble Johnson?
Yeah, Rumble
He was
Johnson.
supposed to.
And then he got arrested, right? And they pulled him out. Is that why? What happened?
Yeah. Wait, did he get cut or something?
He was like stealing or something like that. I don't remember what happened.
No, he took someone's credit card or something. But I remember he came back about that Brazilian. He was supposed to fight Joe Romero, but remember?
Oh, he lost, right? And he lost.
No, he beat. So originally he was supposed to participate in the tournament, or it was supposed to be a comeback fight, or something. I can't remember how it was, but I remember Joe Romero was supposed to fight him. Joe Romero didn't get cleared, and then Anthony Rumble Johnson won his match, but then he got arrested like a couple weeks,
And they
then
took
Joe
him out of the
Romero came
tournament.
back. Yeah, he couldn't find the tournament, and then Phil Davis. Remember Phil Davis and Joe Romero ran into that. Phil Davis lost, but
that's a lot of recycled UFC fighters. That's what that tournament. That's wrong with that
Joe
tournament.
Romero. But Joe Romero got dominated though. That shows you that Joe, like, bro, he dominated Joe Romero like nobody ever has.
But okay, Yoel fought at 185 in the UFC. He's also like 40 something years old. Like,
But I mean,
I don't
bro, that
know. It's
shows
not
you the talent. He dominated him. Like I've never seen Joe Romero get dominated takedowns. Like dude couldn't take him down. He was getting taken down. He was beating him at stand up. Like yo, that shows you like the talent in Bellator. Like that shows you you're the guy that was like the boogeyman in the UFC who came over here, lost his first fight, got dominated, and then I don't know if we'll ever see him. I think he is fighting again.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the Bellator is praying that Nemkov wins and that McKee wins. That's what they're praying. They're praying that like consistency on like the level like of for guys that have not been in the UFC, and
No,
McKee who could
Memkov
be
is
like McKee could be like a new like a pound for pound conversation in a little bit. You know what I mean? If he keeps
yeah,
dominating the way he's dominating.
but
But let me
Nemkov is definitely a beast. But let's go on into the Spence and Nugas fight.
yes. Let's pull this up. Because Broadway says that there's not enough buzz on this. So let's let's get let me hear it. Let me hear it. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I think Spence is gonna show some ring rust in the beginning. I think he's gonna get bothered by Uga's jab, his aggression. I wouldn't be surprised, but I have a feeling an upset is coming. I think Ugas might upset him, but he has to get like a stoppage inside the distance because he doesn't get a decision in Texas, and we know that Spence is everything's against him. I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if he does stop him because of like some cut or something to do with his injury they had. But I think Spence, if he's focused and the ring rust, I think Spence could win, but I have a feeling Ugas is gonna win. But I think Spence he won't stop him. I think he will beat him clearly. But this is like a hard one because Spence has ring rust. He's coming off like an injury. Well, that's kind of serious, and it's like I don't know. I'm really like can't really pick a winner, but I think Ugas has a chance. This is like
Okay,
Ugas is.
wait. Who's your pick though? You didn't give me any answer. You kind of
Oh,
lean both ways.
I'm picking Ugas.
You're picking Ugas an upset.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you gotta pick him to get a stoppage because you say he can't win a decision.
Unless he dominates him, like some
Okay, like a
miracle has
schooling.
to.
He puts a schooling on. Okay, I'm not mad at this. And Broadway's been picking. He was the first guy that I've heard pick Ugas, and he picked it on my the same podcast. He picked him. Um, I think Ugas is going to take an early lead in this fight too. And I'm not sure if it's ring rust or I just think that Spence might be fighting from the wrong distance in this fight. And I think that everyone's saying that Ugas is easy work for and tailor made for Spence. I want to know where. Where is he tailor made for him?
That's what I've been
Because
hearing. It's like
yeah, where is he tailor made? And if Spence fights on the outside, why is he better than Ugas on the outside? Because I don't see that. I think Ugas is very good on the outside. I think he's very good at picking shots. And if you're gonna be picking shots with someone like that, you don't want to do it with Ugas. And I think that people are underrating Ugas's power too because he doesn't have any knockouts. That it's automatically doesn't have power. But I think he does have power. I think he has some pop, and that's why Manny Pacquiao was getting backed up by him. That's why Sean Porter didn't rush in on him. That's why none of these guys rush in on him. He backs
yeah,
everyone up. All his fights look
yeah,
exactly the same. There's a reason for that. So I
yeah.
think there's going to be a point where Spence is going to have to bull rush like he did against Kell Brook. He's going to have to get on the inside. He's going to have to walk through shots. I haven't seen Spence do that since Kell Brook. So we'll see if he still has that in him. But I think he might be down on the scorecards in this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to have to pull out something. And I think that I'm my pick though. I'm going to pick Spence. I think he is going to pull it out because I think you guys with his guard takes too many chances. He's too confident in it. And I think that Spence has a big left hand, a good sweeping left hand. And the same way Abel Ramos caught Ugas with his left hook, I think Spence catches him with the sweeping right hand. And I think he gets a finish late, but I think he has to pull it out. I don't think it's I think this is a comeback from behind fight. I think everybody's gonna be scared that we're gonna lose the Spence Crawford fight. I think that's what everybody's gonna see, and there's gonna be a lot of excuses that Spence ring rust or he's washed or he's no. And I just think that this is just honestly the matchup wise, the way Spence fights now, this is gonna give him a lot of trouble. It's gonna have to go back to old Spence, and I wonder if it's gonna be too late to try that, and he's just gonna have to pull out this left hand to win the fight. That's what I think.
Definitely. No, that's what I'm saying. I think the ring rust is gonna play a big factor because like we've seen it play. It's like unless it depends also on the opponent that you get, but I think yeah, he is gonna I have that feeling as well that he will come back, but it's like I don't know. I have to lead with Ugas because it's like Ugas is the more active fighter. He's coming off the biggest win of his career, but I have a feeling we might see an upset.
Yeah, and I think Ugas has been consistent. He's been fighting. Like you said, he just beat Manny Pacquiao, so he's very confident. He's like on his, he's most confident he's ever been. He's fights always the same way, so it's not like it's like, oh, what is he gonna do? That you know what Ugas is gonna bring to the table. So now you're gonna have to see if Spence can push him off his spot, which I don't know if he can. We're gonna find out, but I think also you have to walk into a lot of shots, and Ugas is pretty damn precise. Even with his body work is pretty good. Like when people rush in on him and they give up that range, he will punish your body. So I'm really curious. I just think that everybody's saying this is a tailor-made fight. I don't know where. You would have to
They're
explain to
saying
me
that he's
where.
gonna knock him out. That it's easy that he's gonna
Yeah,
knock
I
him
don't
out
get
in
that
like
either because
six rounds. I'm
Spence
like,
didn't knock
yo,
out. He didn't come close to knocking out Danny Garcia. He didn't come close to knocking out Mikey Garcia.
he didn't
Right?
come close to
He
knocking out.
dropped Porter. He did drop Porter. I'll give him that. He dropped
Yeah,
Porter, but Porter always gets dropped late. Like if you look at either Broner fight, you look at he always gets rocked late. Like that's just like his MO. He gets rocked late. So so I'll give him that, but he didn't, to me it didn't look like he was close to finishing Porter. I guess I'll say that. He hasn't got a really
definitely not. I mean, where do you see
he,
it? Like where? Like he hasn't gotten a finish in five in almost
since
four, in
Ocampo, I
4 years.
believe. He's got
Yeah,
to finish as
Ocampo.
Ocampo, and Ocampo's a lower level fighter. And then before that, Cal Brook, right? Which, like I said, that was
That was a
his
good win.
big,
That was his
yeah, that
signature.
was his best win. I think
With
that's his best
Ocampo,
win.
you gotta remember he was 21 years old. He was still a prospect because if you look at it, Ocampo's actually been on a win streak. But at that time, yeah, like it was kind of like a weird mendo because he did stop Lamont Pierce and then he fought Ocampo. I think that Ocampo was his last finish. It's like you fought all these top welterweights and you haven't even like besides Porter, he didn't even drop Mikey. He didn't even drop Garcia. He only dropped
And
Porter, and
and
he
we
didn't
speaking
even
of
come
like
in.
welterweights that are small too. Like if you think of Mikey, Danny, and Peterson, these are not like full-fledged welterweights. They're just not. I mean, people want to sell me that Mikey Garcia is, like was a threat at 147. And
No,
it's like he just really wasn't. He just
his
really
cap
wasn't.
was 140. His cap was 140.
Yes,
His
that was where
cap
he was
was
his best at.
140 because he's already won. Because remember, he won at 126, 130, 140. That fifth division title was like he could have gotten it, but he had to wait until these. But it's like now it's probably going to be really hard to, and I think almost impossible. But yeah, Mikey's cap at 140. That was it. He could have done some things at 140. It's just a long layoff. But yeah, 147 was too much.
Yeah, and we always notice about Garcia, right? What you notice about Danny Garcia is that he falls apart late in fights, like he always does, because their size is too much for him at those points. So he always later in the fights he gets diminished, and he doesn't want to take a risk to get those shots. And that's definitely what happened in the Spence fight. And Spence still in rounds was moving around, going backwards, even though he had Danny Garcia had no confidence. Broadway said, and Sean Porter's a short welterweight, which is very true. And I keep hearing that Ugas is some kind of small welterweight, like he's weak or something like that. And it's like this dude's very
Oh, he's
strong.
fucking
He's
strong. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
he's very strong. He has
huge.
a very strong legs, very strong base. Like you're not going to just push this guy around. That's not going to
Yeah,
happen in this fight. So unless Spence is just uh, a lot faster than what I'm imagining, and he's just the combination punches is just too much for Ugas, and Ugas can't handle it. And his picking one shot over Spence just work rate, just outworking Ugas, then maybe like that's what happened. But I can't see this being like a just a completely one sided fight, which what everybody I feel like is kind of like picking. I can't see it that happening. Yeah, one
definitely.
thing too is I want to point out too is like a lot of Ugas's fights look exactly the same. So even if you say like, oh, Manny Pacquiao was old, right? Which he was old, still pretty good though. Still would have gave a lot of guys trouble that night. But he was
Yeah.
old, right? I'll give you that. But every one of Ugas's fights look exactly like that Manny Pacquiao fight. That's the funny thing about it, is that sometimes the guys like that's just their style, and the fights just end up looking like that. Like, if you look at the Abel Ramos fight, that one looks like that. You look at the Sean Porter fight, who Sean Porter didn't rush in on him, Sean Porter who blitzes everyone for some reason didn't blitz Ugas, right? It looked exactly like the Manny Pacquiao fight. All his fights look exactly the same. That's for a reason. That's because he does that. That's why he makes fights. That's how he makes these fights look. That's how he wants to fight in these fights. So we're gonna see. I think that I'm actually really excited for this fight now. I'm very excited for this fight. I wasn't at first. I took a little buzz. It took me a little time to get get
Yeah,
the buzz
because
up for it.
we're going, yeah, on buzz for this fight. Like I told you, man, I think Ugas is gonna pull it. I always like to pull for the underdogs. I think Ugas is gonna show us because, bro, I just don't like when people write off fighters. Like example, Fondora Lubin, people were saying that Lubin was just gonna break him down. Now after like he beat him, the energy changed. People act like, no, it was a 50-50. Like no, it was not a 50-50 fight on paper. To real boxing fans that pay attention or people that are like, not really like like I said, if they pay attention, like that fight was like really gonna be a bad matchup for Lubin. But no, I like the unders. I think we're gonna see some good things in and Ugas, and I think Ugas might show us more than what people are just writing him off, and I don't like that. I think hopefully he does pull up a fight, if even though if he loses, but he goes a distance and shows that Spence, hey, I walked this guy down. He didn't blow me down at all. He didn't, I gave him a
Yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah. He proves his level. I guess is what you're trying to say.
He holds
So
his
yeah,
ground.
yeah, yeah. How do you feel about the undercard? How do you feel about the undercard? I think the
Oh,
best fight.
I
I mean everybody can agree the best fight's Bute versus Danionis.
I was watching the Jamal James fight. I actually saw the highlights that you shared of him like rushing Jamal. Bro, that was a stoppage. Like that was a who
It was
he put.
brutal. It was brutal, and
Yeah,
people
he
seem kind of forget because Jamal James was like all right, like he was on
yeah,
a decent run at that point,
yeah.
and
The
man,
only
he put a
loss was
beating on him.
Ugas.
Yeah,
Oh
and he put a
yeah, dude.
beating on him.
First man to stop him, and it's like, yo, that was a because Jamal James is actually from my state, and he was like on a run. He had a buzz, and then they were even talking about throwing him in there with Manny Pacquiao, and it's like, yo, like it was sad to watch because like, damn, but I mean, hopefully he bounces back. But I don't know who to pick in that fight because I'm looking at Butayev his like fights, but I think Stanionis might put the pressure on him. It's really hard. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a draw.
Yeah, it was when I like the year started. I picked that as like that's gonna be fight of the year, and I
That's
think a
gonna
lot of
be
people are kind of like leaning that way now. I'm
yeah.
kind of going the other way now, just because what I've seen of Butev, he could do a lot of things. Like he's actually a very talented fighter.
He got
I
good
think
footwork.
Stanionis, yeah, I think
He got good
exactly.
footwork.
Very, very good footwork. He gives me. I keep saying he gives me Castano vibes. Like where Castano was around for a little bit, and when he fought Lara, people thought like, oh, this guy's pretty good. Lara's getting a little bit older. That's why that was a good fight. But people were not saying what they're saying about Castano now. Where like Castano is like everybody considers him like a world level talent, right? I think that's
Yeah.
what we're gonna see with Butev, where you're gonna be like, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, oh, actually, like when he destroyed what's his name, James? When he
Jamal
destroyed
James.
Jamal
Jamal
James, like that
James.
was actually a really good win. It was actually a really devastating win, like really one-sided win. And then I think in this fight, like Stanionis to me is very beatable. I think that he's a one-dimension fighter. I think he's predominantly uses his left hand. Like I know he has a right hand, but he's predominantly uses his left hand. It kind of just follows you around the same speed, uh, same punches. There's not like he's not really creative or anything like that. I've always thought like this guy is not to me like a legit threat to be like a champion at this weight class. As well, at least a legit one, right? A top contender at the weight class. But
Yeah.
um someone in the talk that you need to stop lying, but then they put JK. Okay, I don't even know what could you be lying about, Polo? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
line number what?
Wait, I don't know. I'll ask him. I'll
You
see
know
what they say.
who is that? I don't even know
It's
who that is.
Box Talk 101. I don't know who that
You don't know who that is either?
is.
Yeah.
Bro, what's up, bro? Wait, I don't know. Okay, but we'll go back to it. But what I was gonna say is yeah, but Stanionis, I don't think like I never thought like, oh, he's a high level fighter. I never did. But Fox sucks it. Polo just be lying about everything. I don't know why. I don't think you have that rep, Polo. Personally, I don't think you have that rep.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't. I mean, I don't know who that is. Yeah, it's kind of yeah.
Oh, he said it's Freddie. It's Freddie from Twitter. You know who Freddie is?
Oh yeah, I know who he
Yeah,
is. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's all Freddie. Well, I know about what I know. Freddie. Freddie's funny.
Yeah, Freddie's cool. Okay, that's funny. But yeah, I think the Butib could do a lot more than Stanionis. So I think he could like move around him. If he wants to box him, I think he could honestly box him. Like he can do whatever he wants. And if they go to war, he's gonna be to me, he's like definitely faster. He's definitely quicker to the spot. He's definitely to me a more of a better combination puncher than Stanionis. So it really just gonna be that Stanionis is just could walk through these shots and he's just gonna beat him with pressure like that. Because Stanionis didn't even really he beat Delorme, but he never like was really like, oh, he's close to finishing Delorme. So that's all those things. I'm like, I think it's a one-sided. I think it could be a really one-sided fight for Butev. I just like the matchup.
Definitely. I think it's gonna be a draw, bro. I don't know. It's really hard to pick a winner because it's like I look at Quinones' work, and it's like he's very active and like, dude, he has power. Like the way I actually saw him fight live, bro. I saw him fight Luis Colazo, and like, bro, he was putting a beating on Luis Colazo until Colazo kind of like, it was a headbutt so called, but I think he was looking away to pull out because it was gonna be his last match. But it's like, yo, they threw him in there with a young, hungry, motivated welterweight that was just like, bro, you could hear the but I was sitting front row and I could hear like the body shots. Like when he would hit him in the body, you could hear the punches, bro. And he was just like more active. You could tell Luis Colosso's age was showing like he just could not keep him off him. But it's a hard fight. I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, I would pick a draw. But I don't know. I like Stanionis though. I do like how he fights, but I think Stanionis might end up taking it.
I mean, like I said, I like those kind of matchups. I like those matchups where it's like two guys are like ready to, they feel like they're ready to get to like that top level now, and this is like the perfect time. Like it's a real test for these two guys to, find out who it is, find out who the guy's ready to go to that next level.
Hey, Broadway said, wait, they aren't Euro bums? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Where's Russia located? It's only Euro bums when it's convenient. Tell Broadway said it's only a Euro bum when it's convenient.
He's listening. He can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. What do you feel about you got Brandon Lee, you got Isak Cruz, and you have Jose Valenzuela. They're trying to throw all their prospects out there.
I got Cruz stopping Gamboa under 6. I think he's gonna put a beating on Gamboa. Gamboa's gonna.
He really needs to. He really needs to. Honestly, because I'm not buying him. I'm not buying him as a legit threat at 135.
He's not. Bro. He's not been a threat since, because bro, he lost to Castellanos every round, and Castellanos made him quit. Since that day, I knew Gamboa was probably never gonna be.
No, not Gamboa.
It's just a name.
I'm talking about Cruz. I'm not buying Cruz. Isak Cruz.
You don't like Cruz?
I don't like him. I just don't think he's that level. Like I think that he's honestly a B-level fighter, but I think that he was like somewhat competitive against Tank. He was somewhat competitive against Tank, and then that suddenly made him a star, or that suddenly made him some kind of threat. But I don't think like, oh man, this guy's a world beater. I think he would lose to Ryan. They fought Ryan, right? I think he would lose to any of the top guys if he fought him.
I don't think so, but I think he is a threat. But we gotta see, because we don't know if Haney's gonna be around. We don't know. Like we feel like Tank is now in no rush to actually fight for a world title. Haney is tied up. He's moving up. Let's see how Convulso's last. No, I actually do think Cruz is a threat, because like I could see it, and then I saw him fight live in Mexico, and like I've seen, did some research. I know about his dad. Like he seems like he's very motivated and hungry. We gotta see it. Obviously, I think he is a little bit short for the division. I think if he cut down to 130, like he beats a lot of like those. Like bro, he would have stopped Chris Colbert. He would have beat a lot of those 130s. But I think 130.
Oh, he's probably maxed out though. Yeah, he's probably maxed out though. Like, yeah, I mean, he don't look like he has like a lot to cut anymore. He seems like when he gets in there.
When I saw him fight, he fought at 130 at one point. I just probably thought that 135 was, more comfortable for him to. He didn't have to cut so much. But I think at 130, if he makes it, bro, he's gonna be a threat at 130. Like, no, he's.
So you think he is a threat at 135 for?
I think so. For any company,
possibly to be a top guy, like to be the number one guy.
Oh, number one guy, that's hard because of skill wise. But we gotta see more, because let's remember, bro, he's the first guy to take the distance.
Let me give you some names. Let me give you some names. Tell me if he beats him. Ryan Garcia.
I think he beats Ryan Garcia right now. If they have to fight like later on, I think he does beat Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia leaves his chin up. He's gonna crush his body. I like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is faster, has a bit better skills, but I think Cruz is just gonna be too active, and he'll dog him. I think Ryan Garcia might. We got to see more of Ryan Garcia later on, bro. I think if they were to fight, say like later in the summer, I think he does beat Ryan because of activity. Okay. He's more hungry. Ryan needs to figure himself out. We got to see how Ryan looks like in his next fights, because I'm telling you, bro, if he looks like how he fought against the goal, I think Cruz clips him.
Okay, next one, Devin Haney.
I think Devin Haney beats him because of the size and skills, but I wouldn't be surprised if he catches Haney, like drops him. But I think Haney wins in that one.
Cambosos.
I think Cambosos edges it out.
Oh, I'm gonna add I'm adding box talk right now. Adding Freddie. Wait a second. What's up, Freddie? Thanks for joining.
What's up, Freddie? What are you lying about, man? This guy.
You got to tell Polo stop lying, man. He gonna be capping.
Lying to look, man.
He's all. I don't know who that is now. You know who I am.
I swear to God, I did not recognize your boxing name because we haven't talked in a while, bro. That's why. But my bad. What you up to? I ain't alive or nothing.
Nothing, man. I think it was from Twitter where I found out about. Hey, bro, how do I say it? Do I say it Easy Raw? Is that how it's pronounced? Or how
Ezra.
do you
No,
pronounce
it's
it?
Ezra.
Yeah.
My name's
Ezra.
Ezra.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ezra.
but I just call it Ezra because I just want to play.
So
on that.
that's. I think I found out about you on Twitter. I think we
Yeah,
all might have
yeah.
had a space at one point, and I was like, all right, let me check out this dude's YouTube, right? And I'm like, bro, I like this dude's content. I'm like, how come nobody's watching, man? I'm
Dude,
gonna
I have
watch it.
I told you, I have like 3 viewers. I have 3 viewers. That's what I was
insane.
yeah, I was talking about on Twitter today with Dan Raphael, like going on a Zoom with Tyson Fury and Top Rank, and he's like under his chin with the camera, and I'm like, damn, I had 3 viewers. I have better, like I did better a better camera angle and everything. It's like, what the hell? He can't show any effort. His whole life, he feeds his family with his boxing content, and I'm just doing
I
this
don't know
for
what he
after
was
work.
on, bro. That was weird. Like, why did he have his whole face in the camera? It's like, dude, like
Because he's lazy. Because he's lazy. He's not putting any effort into this at all.
Who's
right.
it?
He
Dan
looks
Raphael?
like the dude from
Yeah,
Toy
Dan
Story.
Raphael.
He looks
Dude,
like the guy from Toy
the
Story.
collector. The collector.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Hey,
Man.
okay, Freddie, Isar Cruz, what level do you think he is? Is he a contender at 135 to be the best guy, or a top 3 guy? Could he be a top 3 guy at 135?
Not right now. He could be because he's so young. But
Okay.
I don't.
Thank you.
He's not top 3 for me. Not right
Yeah,
Would he
now.
that's
beat
what I'm
Ryan
saying.
Garcia?
Like, not right now, but it's like, bro, if you look at his determination, his hunger, if they fight Ryan, bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's a bad matchup for Ryan, though. He's gonna like catch Ryan. Like, that's what we
I
have
don't
to
think
see.
it's a bad matchup for Ryan. I think a bad matchup for Ryan would be someone that wants to box. I don't think it's someone that like wants to stay there and
I
go to
don't know,
war with
man.
him.
He took Tank's shots, and they didn't really hurt him. I mean, Ryan Garcia, we got to see like if Ryan Garcia actually does hit his hard. Because I mean, bro, to go, yeah, we'll give him a pass because ring rust. But it's like other than like, let's see who's been knocking out. If he knocks out another legit contender, I'll be like, okay, he's the like he actually got popped. But it's like to go was like, I don't know, man. The doubters are coming up, and people are not believing in him anymore.
I think I think that's the to-go thing. It wasn't like the best performance. No one's gonna say it's the best performance, but I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was bad. Like honestly, if you think like, oh, it's such a terrible performance, and then he dominates 12 rounds, so you're like, okay, give a round to go.
He
You couldn't
dominated
give a
that
round
dude.
for
It's
to
just
go.
people.
So on his
expected a
worst
knockout.
night, he 12-0s a guy that's supposedly top 10 ranked, but he 12-0s that guy, right? Like on his worst night.
I think did he score a knockdown too? I don't remember.
Yeah, he got knocked
Couple.
out.
He
He
scored
got
like
knocked
two.
out. You got one knockdown.
No, didn't he score another knockdown? Where he
No.
Oh.
It was one. You got one. But
Hey,
yeah,
but can we agree? Can we agree that To Go was there to survive?
he was,
Yeah,
but
he was.
I think he was there to survive because he felt the power and speed, and he was like, "Okay, this ain't gonna work. I'm just gonna I'm gonna get the thing." But, yeah, that's what I said, exactly. But I don't understand is like when you go there, right? Like when you go like To Go, right? This is a good opportunity. You're gonna fight Ryan Garcia. Now, even if you lose this, people know you after this point, right? People are even pronouncing it To Go now, right? They're pronouncing it correctly because I was saying To Go to break down this fight, but I guess it's Tago. See now I know that because he fought Ryan Garcia.
Better.
Yeah, it does. It flows better. But the thing is why not take a chance, right? Even if you lose by knockout, have an exciting fight so you get more opportunities. Now, no one's ever gonna want to watch this guy fight again. Like, how do his managers, his trainers not tell him, like, hey, you got to at least have a performance here that's memorable? Even if you get knocked out cold, you want a war. Like, if you look at Nakatila, right, who got smoked by Shakur Stevenson, it wasn't close, but at least he went for it, right? He took some chances. He made Shakur stay home. Then he gets another opportunity on a main event on Top Rank. Like these guys have to think like that. They got to think long term. We can't just be like, oh well, I'm not going to win this one, so I'm just going to save myself. What are you saving yourself for? You're never going to get an opportunity again.
Definitely, but like Freddie said, bet the house on Rolly.
Okay, Rolly and Isaac Cruz. How do you see that going, Freddie? Don't be biased.
Rolly sleeps him, bro. I can't believe you guys think that's yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a very good fight. I think that's like my favorite
really?
matchup.
Oh, that's
like
if I could do
that's exactly. If I could do like my top 5 fights and there's like not that affect like the number 1 status at 135 or any weight class, that's definitely in my top 5. Like if just fights are just like random, that's a great matchup. I think that's an excellent matchup.
Me personally, I would love it just because again, I'm confident that Rolly knocks him out. So I'm like, oh, dude, I would love it, right? But I don't think it's competitive, but I think it's a great fight.
Okay.
No, I'm
Oh,
sorry, bro, but I think Cruz does
I
clip
knew he was gonna
Rolly,
say
bro.
it.
I like Rolly because he comes forward, bro. He doesn't like he'll come forward, but I think it's gonna be a competitive fight. It's really hard to pick a winner because they're both like aggressors, bro. They're both entertaining to watch. Like I wouldn't say, oh, he gets like because like I don't know, man. Like Rolly's never in any boring fights. Like he brings the knockouts. Like that's the thing that people gotta respect about him. Like he doesn't like box. He actually comes forward and gets knockouts, like legit knockouts.
I have been seeing Rolly box a little bit more. I think I've actually seen improvements. Like in last performance, especially, I thought like he was a little bit better. I thought he was better boxing wise. Like the way decision making, I thought he was a lot better. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like I said, I'm not high on Rolly or anything like that, but I think that I would love to see that fight. And neither of them have ever shown to be chinny either. So I don't even know what happens like when either of them lands. I'm like, I don't know what happens. They probably just keep walking through it and you just see a great fight. What about Isak Cruz versus Haney? What do you think about that, Freddie?
Oh, Haney takes it. I think the skills, but like you said, we never know. I would obviously pick Haney just because it's skill wise, but do we trust that chin?
That's the thing. You're always gonna have a chance against Haney. You always have a chance. He'll never like make you deter, or he's never gonna put you away. I don't feel like. So you always have a chance. Like especially a guy like Isak Cruz will always come forward. I'll pick Haney in that fight. I think he will outskill him and move around the ring. But what do you think?
Yeah.
Think about that one.
I think Haney. I don't really got Isaac Cruz over a lot of the guys I want.
That's what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. But Polo's saying he competes in the like one of the top guys, and I'm just
he may have a point here if his top guy, the top competition, is the top guy at 135, and right now that's George Kambosos. I like Isaac Cruz's chances against George Kambosos, but that's about it.
Is Kambosos really the top guy at 135 though, or is he
paper,
just the guy that? Yeah, on paper. That's what I think. I hate stuff on paper. Yeah, he's the top guy at 135, but it's like that's why I'm like when they're like Haney wins this fight, right? He's pound for pound. And I'm like, why? Why is he pound for pound? If Lee Shelby would have beat Kambosos, would he have been pound for pound? No. Like that's what I don't understand. Like it's not all undisputeds are created equal. Like this isn't. It's not the same as another guy winning undisputed. I don't know. People. I was gonna say Canelo, but people are super pissed about that.
No, they're not. You're right. You're right. Because for example, at 140, Josh Taylor's undisputed.
Josh Taylor's better undisputed than
Crawford's.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you on that. He went through tough competition. He went through Progras, Brain Check. He went through Ramirez. Who's who right there? 140. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not all. They're not all equal. I understand. This is the right move for Haney.
But I would give more respect if you actually go undisputed by going like one by one. Like the thing with Haney is like he's just fighting Kambosos, and Kambosos, luckily, obviously, we can't discredit him. He did beat
not discrediting him. Like, he beat Teofimo.
But the Fimo, what he did with his undisputed so-called run, which I kind of, I don't know, it was kind of weird because he beat Comey, that was a ranked opponent in easily top 5 at that time, knocked him out, never been stopped. Went and had a performance of a lifetime against Lomachenko, the number 1 lightweight, was lineal ring, and he took that. And then Kambosos beats him. So I think Haney's undisputed run. Congratulations if he wins it, but it's not going to be impressive because he only had to fight one guy that did beat the man, but it's like he didn't go on the actual run to like clear out his division. He only fought that one guy with that, belt that he got. So it's like, nah, because at least with Josh Taylor, Crawford, and Canelo, they actually went through the top guys of their division.
So let's see. Broadway asks, what if Kambosos beats Haney? Does he become number 1 lightweight in your eyes? He's asking me, but we can all answer this. He would have two damn good wins. Like and with Teofimo leaving, he'd be the number 1 lightweight. I don't know if I'd make him pound for pound yet, but he'd have a case, right? He'd be getting there right at the cusp of it, right? Because he beats Teofimo, which is the best lightweight win last year, and then he would beat Haney, which is probably gonna be the best lightweight win this year. So he'd be the number 1 lightweight for sure. Definitely. Now if Haney beats him, I think then he goes to Lomachenko. We'll settle that. I think the winner of that will be the number 1 lightweight in the world.
Yeah, so say like he went through Lomachenko and Haney, then definitely it's pound for pound because he beat Lomachenko, Teofimo, Lomachenko, and Haney. It's like, oh yeah, he's definitely pound for pound. Those are 3 big ass wins.
Yeah, Haney's going the right route. I'm not the right route. I'm not like saying like he shouldn't be fighting this fight. No, he should. This is the perfect fight for him. This is it makes perfect sense that he matches up with Kambosos next, and then locks up the Lomachenko fight. Like this is all perfect for his career as far as like fight wise. I don't know what the money deal or what is the agreement is with that, but as far as like fights and building his resume, this is the correct way to go. And he's gonna have the advantage over Ryan, who doesn't really have anyone on his side of the street now. He's gonna have the advantage over Tank, who doesn't have anyone on his side of the street.
He
So
doesn't. Besides, like Rayo, Isak, unless the Isak Cruz.
he needs like
But
Tank's got to wait for all these guys to develop, basically.
yeah, but he might actually fight a former world champion. I wouldn't be surprised, bro, that if he ends up fighting either Michael Rivera or Giselle Corrales, because Giselle Corrales just won the final eliminator, and he actually is up in the ranking. So I don't know where he's ranked, but I heard that this was going to be of a shot. And, obviously he's not going to fight Cambosa, so he actually might end up fighting Tank for that regular belt. It's going to be between Michael Rivera or Giselle Corrales.
I think it's Rivera. I think it's pretty obvious it's Rivera. I think they've been building it towards Rivera. I think it's going to be Rivera.
So? But they might push him to. But they might push that angle, like, yo, Giselle Corrales was a former world champion. He beat the. They might push that angle. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if they take the Rivera fight. To be honest, I think they might look at that a little bit more risky. They might take Corrales just because he wasn't so Morris. He's not old.
I don't think they're necessarily scared about risking against Tank. I think they're just trying to find the matchups that are in house that make sense and they could build a pay per view around. Honestly, I don't think it's like they're like saying like protecting him.
He's already a pay per view star. I mean, dude, he fought Mario Barrios. He fought like Cruz that was not very that known. I mean, anybody he fights is gonna like sell no matter what.
He could sell to what extent though? You know what I mean? Like he's a pay per view star to what though? Like he's not on Canel's level.
No, or Joshua, but or like Fury Wilder, but he's up there. Like he does get by, so it's like he's still people. No matter who he ends up fighting, bro, people are gonna still see it because it's Tank. He could fight the the mailman, and I guess people would tune in to watch, and they'll hype up the guy to be this, But I think he will end up fighting Giselle Corrales. I got that feeling.
I think people would be really disappointed in that matchup, but that's what happens next. But yeah, I don't know. Well, how you feeling, Freddie, about Ugas suspense? So Polo had his pick, I had my pick.
I want Ugas to win, but I expect Spence to win.
You expect Spence to win? KO stoppage?
I don't know. I don't see Ugas being stopped.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
I feel like Spence is he's not that guy to really get. I mean, he could have stopped Mikey,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't see a stoppage, but I expect him to get the decision.
Okay, yeah. That's what. Go ahead, Paulo.
Freddie, would you even be surprised if it's a robbery? Like it's actually like Ugas' fight, but they robbed him? Would that surprise you?
No, because they've done it before when he fought Sean Porter.
Oh yeah.
You thought Sean Porter won that fight? I thought Sean Porter
Ugas won that fight.
Oh, Ugas got robbed. Okay.
I thought Ugas won.
Yeah, I thought Ugas beat Porter too.
Yeah, I thought Ugas beat Porter. Everybody there thought Ugas won, and everybody was booing when they announced the winner.
He won. And did you see the knockdown? That was a fucking knockdown, bro. That was
bullshit. And they took the knockdown from him. Yeah.
He landed right in the stomach. Yeah, I think he did one. But you gotta understand, they're in a business. So if you imagine like Ugas versus Spence at that time when it sold, they were trying to make Porter versus Spence. So that's what they ultimately they know what they were doing, bro. They always wanted to make Porter versus Spence because they knew that fight would sell. Because obviously Ugas versus Spence didn't make really sense because it's like, but now that Ugas got that big ass win against Pacquiao, it's like, oh, it makes sense for him to fight Errol Spence. So that's why they're kind of like like they didn't really care. They're like, well, we're in a business, so we're gonna make the fights that make most sense, even if it's
Okay, let's say Ugas wins this week, right? You make the next fight. Are you more excited to do Spence versus Crawford still, even though he's coming off a loss, or do you want to see Ugas versus Crawford? What are you more excited about?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna be. Even if it's the loss doesn't really mean shit, bro. Like I feel like people.
I would still want to see Spence versus Crawford.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. If Spence does lose, they're just gonna run it back, and they'll eventually make the Crawford fight. But I think it'll happen at 154 because you remember Crawford could just move up and grab a belt, like work his way up and grab the WBO belt. But I don't know if he'll actually go to PBC though. It doesn't look like he actually wants to go to PBC because it's almost been 6 months since he left Aram. It's like
there's a rumor that he's going. That's where exactly where
why would they do it at 154 when undisputed is at stake at 147?
Well, he's saying if Spence loses to Ugas, the one disputed won't be there anymore.
But you gotta remember, there's Mando. Spence has gone like how many years without an IBF Mando? The WBA, Stañones and Butze have already said they're not stepping aside. So it's like They want their title shot, and the IBF is coming. That's why they're doing this eliminator. Of course, they have like almost a year to mandate it, but it has been some years since he's actually done IBF mandatory. But I think the politics are gonna go on the way because there's two mandos that he has to take care of.
So, but we're kind of in agreement here. Then, are you same here, Fred? You same you'd want to see Spence Crawford even if Spence loses?
Not really. I want to see undisputed.
So you want to see Ugas versus Crawford? Yeah, because I put up a poll, and that's what I was surprised because everybody said Ugas versus Spence.
Like when Kambosos beat Teofimo, did we still want to see Devin Haney Teofimo? Apparently not, because people want to see undisputed.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I think Haney versus Teofimo would actually be a pretty big fight. I think because Teofimo wants a 140. I think that kind of like just eliminated that conversation.
But I think Haney, we'll see that fight eventually. I feel like.
Yeah, I think the problem with Haney and Kambosos is like, I think it's really helping to sell now that Kambosos has some kind of star power now in Australia. Like that helps out a lot that they're gonna do a massive amount of tickets there, like a huge amount of tickets.
And
there.
The fact that Devin Haney kind of swallowed his pride. Because a lot of times with negotiations, he was kind of like the difficult one to deal with, asking for a lot of money, or like I'm the promoter, but I'm not the promoter because he wasn't putting up the money. It was Eddie Hearn, but he said, hey, whatever you guys are gonna pay Loma, I'll take that. Whatever that number is, I'll take it, and I'll be the B side. I'll go to your home court, like everything. He agreed to everything.
You have to remember too, is like, everybody always said he was a free agent, but no one ever believed it because he never went anywhere. Like, right, you would think, why didn't he go to the PBC then? Why didn't he match up with Tank or match up all these things? But it turns out he was a free agent, though. That's what I'm saying. It turns out he was a free agent. So that means that he did play the market, and he realized what the market was, and he was like, okay, this is probably honestly the best deal I'm going to get if I'm not going to just stay matchroom fighting, whatever they can scrap together for me. So I think that's what happened. I think that he saw the market. He was a free agent, and the PBC wasn't calling for him to fight Tank. They weren't going to pay probably a huge number that he's used to getting with. I don't know if he's getting a huge number with DAZN, but he's getting a pretty good number with DAZN. And the only option really was Kambosos. That was the only option, and it was undisputed, so it made a lot of sense.
Does anybody know what he's getting from Top Rank? Because I feel like it's lower than what he was getting with
what DeBella says. It's more. He says it's more, or he says it's more that it would have been with DAZN. So I don't know what that means. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's equal to, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm not sure. No one. The terms aren't out yet, so I haven't know anyone.
I always expect when Top Rank is involved, like, oh, they're gonna lowball. Like, I never expect a high number from them.
Yeah, what they might have done is been like gave them an all right number here, but they know like over 3 fight deal that number is going to stay the same. So like when they get to the Lomachenko fight, which should probably increase his pay if he beats Kambosos twice and then goes to fight Lomachenko on pay-per-view, they know they're still going to get a budgeted number. You know what I mean? Like they're like this, we're still comfortable with that number. By the time he fights Lomachenko, we could cash in on that fight right there. Yeah. So I'm sure they did something like that. I mean, they had leverage. Like they pulled the ultimate move on Eddie Hearn and DAZN. They did everything. They took the fight and they took his fighter, and they had all the leverage because they had the Kambosos was pulling all the strings kind of out. DeBella and they were pulling all the strings because they had the Lomachenko fight there, and DAZN was trying to make the Haney fight, but also trying to make the Ryan Garcia fight if that was an option. You know what I mean? They were trying to see what was going to make the most money, and it was going to be Ryan Garcia. Once Ryan Garcia wasn't a possible option, they were trying to do the fight, but they needed all the rights to it, right, for it to make sense.
No,
to make
money. Yeah, I think they wanted the Ryan Garcia fight, to be honest, because
they did. They did at first.
Do is, have him. They wanted probably him Kambosos because DAZN can actually broadcast that. They were probably gonna have him defend against like someone in one of the rankings, like the dude after Lomachenko, and then have him fight Ryan Garcia at the end of the year, which would have been a big money fight and a big because remember To Go actually works with is with Lou DeBella. That's one of his fighters. So they were just gonna have Kambosos defend his titles against somebody, that was ranked, and then obviously fight.
Yeah, like they were gonna do 2 tune-ups. Well, Ryan get the tune-up, him get the tune-up, and then they fight each other. I remember that was the first talks. Like that was the first thing that was discussed or that was released that they were discussed, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I just they're in a good spot. I mean, either way, Haney's in a good spot career-wise. Lomachenko's in a good spot. When he comes back, he's going to get the winner of this, right? So all these guys are fighting to fight Lomachenko. So everybody's going to him. The Top Rank funneled it to him, and Kambosos gets the fight he wants. And to me, it's it's not like, at least he's not going to deal with someone that's going to outpower him. You know what I mean? He'll be able to be in the fight as long as, his skill will allow him to. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. What else we got? Oh, Valenzuela. How are we feeling about him?
I think he stops Francisco Vargas under like 6. I think he's gonna stop him on undercuts. He's gonna make a statement. This will be like his show fight because it's on pay-per-view, in a big stage. I think him and Cruz get the stoppage wins by stoppage, but I think Venezuela stops Vargas.
What do you think about Valenzuela, Freddie?
I'm not sold on him yet.
Not sold on him yet?
No.
I will say this: the defensively, he has a lot of huge defensive flaws. I know we talk about Ryan Garcia's defensive flaws, but he has some big ones too. I see a lot of Prince Nassim Ahmed in him, which is that's a high actually regard, if I would say that. I think that's a good compliment because offensively, like he just truly believes in it and he like fully commits and he'll take like what he could punch from far away. He has like a lot of actually variety, I think, in his shots, but I think he's actually like wide open too when he punches. I think he forgets his defense 100%. So we'll see. You know what I mean? I think he'll beat Francisco Vargas because he's washed, but
no, Ryu has skills, bro. I think Ryu
he has skills. He does, but he just
he got skills.
Look when he punches. Like, look how wide open he is.
He's still very raw.
He needs to work on this defensively.
Broadway's been against Vargas, allowing Vargas to fight. That's like he's been chanting that, and I'm like, well, why are you okay with Gamboa fighting? I mean, Gamboa takes as much beating as Vargas does. I mean, now, right? I mean,
I feel like Gamboa is better defensively, though.
I guess he survives. He's been surviving with Haney. I mean, who doesn't have a lot of power. And I don't know what the hell happened in that tank fight where he blows out like an Achilles and still survives 12 rounds. I don't know how the hell that happened. But yeah. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. If you think Isaac Cruz is going to get him out, he really needs to. He really needs to make that statement for me to be like, get any more excitement than, for him.
Like, what would you be like? What if he stops him later, beats him? Like, what? Because like we can't like Haney went 12 with him. Like that was like
Haney doesn't have power though. That's not what Haney's thing is. Isaac Cruz is all about power and pressure. So
it's like,
he can't have a.
But here's the thing though with Haney though, Gamboa, like example, Linares, Gamboa's all of his losses have come by knockouts, by devastating stoppages. So it's like it is kind of under pressure. But it's like if it goes 12. I'll be like, damn, you should have got him up. It's like, okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Second time he goes the distance because Gamboa's all his losses have been by stoppage. Like Linares, if you look at Linares, like those are two guys that's like all their losses are by stoppage. So I think like Cruz will get him out of that. I think the pressure that Cruz puts on, I think Gamboa's gonna break. Like I'm trying to tell you, like I think
that's honestly what he needs to show though. I think that's what he needs to show in the fight. Like I think he needs to show that his pressure and his power and that is that devastating that he can't have like a 12 rounder, right? He can't have what he did with Vargas. We're talking about Vargas. He went 12 rounds with Vargas, and Vargas is not a defensive guy.
But listen, Vargas is not easy to stop either. It took one man to stop him. Like he's fought in there with like some great names, and he has like he has a good resume. It's like, bro, he knocked out Mura that was on the run.
But you would think that Vargas is washed, right? You would have to admit that Vargas is washed, though, right? Like you don't think
he's washed, but I think like. I know that's not the same, but he had a second win because he's with the new coach. I think I don't know when he said because he lost to Berchera and then people kind of forgot about him. It's like his only 2 losses were against a top name, a guy that was the number one guy in the division. He beat Mura. He beat I gotta look back at his resume, but he beat some top names. He beat.
What's his last 5?
No. But you said he got a second win. To have a second win, bro, you gotta like who did he beat after he lost? Because he didn't beat anybody. That's why people forgot about him.
What? Oh, like
recently.
That people know. Recently. I mean, he was on a win streak when he got with Cruz. Oh, let's see. What is he came off that after he lost to Cruz. Look at his resume. I mean, he beat 3 guys. He debuted at a lightweight and he beat. I'm not gonna say they were names, but I'm like, what's your definition? I mean, he was on a win streak before Cruz. Obviously, Cruz got him, and then Cruz beat him, and he took like a layoff, and now he's fighting Venezuela. So like, that's why people forget that he was on a win streak before he fought Cruz.
He only beat like 2 people, bro, before he fought Cruz, and I can't tell you who they were. Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm saying, what's your definition? Like, I think if they're on a win streak, I think they're catching their second win.
I think that's what I was trying to talk, but he's muted. Hey, bro, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted, bro.
I hear you, Polo.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay.
Hey, Freddie, why you be lying, bro?
Bro,
Okay.
Polo, you always be lying, talking about Vargas was on a win streak. He caught his second win. What are you
No,
talking
I'm just
about?
saying before he's with Salas, man. No, I'm not saying he's sharp. I'm saying like if a fighter's on a win streak, is that not catching their second win? Like, what's your like? When people thought he was completely shot because he
What do you
lost
mean
to a
two
guy
guys,
that was
bro? Two
pretty.
guys that I can't
And the two guys that we
Yeah.
don't, I don't know who they are either. So
No, but he
I
lost
couldn't say.
before the cruise. Like, forget the cruise victory. Like, he lost to Bill Chair, and then he kind of went away. He made his lightweight debut. Then he fought Cruz. Like, bro, he didn't lose to no Castellanos, bro. He didn't lose to no
Okay,
Cedric
so like
Thompson. He didn't
here's
lose
the
to.
things I don't like, right? Like here's the things that like I always think like this guy's super washed at this
But I
time.
think he is done.
Okay,
But
let's
I'm
see.
not gonna say he's complete.
He's coming off. He got stopped, right? So then he switched trainers. So suddenly he's gonna be a new guy with a new trainer, right? Like suddenly that everything's figured out. He goes and gets 2 wins against two guys that are no, I don't know them, so they're most likely in a competitive, especially at that weight division he fights at. I should know the guys' names, at least know their names. Like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. He lost to this guy. Doesn't know them. He loses, and then he loses to Isak Cruz, right? And then he loses him, so he can't compete at this level anymore. Like that to me, that's clear as day. He could go get wins wherever those like tune-up fights. Yes, he get that, but to me, it's not. You can't tell me that this is like, oh, this is a great win for anyone, or Valenzuela is really going to
But
prove
what's your
something against
definition?
him.
So I have a question. So
He
I got a
moved up
question
in
for you.
weight,
So you
right?
don't
And
think he
Isak
could
Cruz
beat
didn't get him out of
Tagoe?
there, but
How
Burchell
about
got him out of
Tagoe?
there.
How about Tagoe?
No, he wouldn't beat Tagoe. No, Tagoe would beat
You
him.
don't think
I'm going to say that right now. I don't think he'll beat Tagoe. Do you think Tagoe that fought Ryan Garcia and couldn't let go of his hands because Ryan Garcia is freaking fast and hits like
But I have a
a
question.
freight train?
How come they didn't get when Francisco Vargas was at lightweight and had those 2 wins? How come they didn't get Francisco Vargas versus Ryan Garcia?
Because they were like, what the hell is that going to do? At least Tagoe, they're like, no one knows him. We can't say he's washed because no one knows who he is. But with Francisco Vargas, what the hell are they going to do with that? It's like he hasn't done anything at this weight class. And last time we saw him, he got smoked by Burchell.
What is
So
Tagoe?
that's
What
why
has
they didn't get him.
Tagoe done? Tagoe is
He
a direct
doesn't. The
opponent.
mystery of him. It's just the mystery of him. It's just like this guy's this guy
Okay.
doesn't. He's a credible. According to some ranking, he's credible. That's all it is. It's just a mystery. If Francisco Vargas, everybody
But
knows.
the difference between Vargas though, yeah, but he's been in many wars, so that's the thing that people like. Because when he left to Bill Chair, I think he just needed to stay relevant by having like obviously being another no name. But you're saying that a lot of guys in the light division, not counting the top guys, I'm talking about like the rankings, like the Tagos, the Comey, that Russian cat that just beat Linares. You don't think Francisco Vargas beats any of those guys?
No, I don't. I don't think he beats any of those guys. I don't think he beats any of those guys.
Okay,
I'm not.
then we'll say because the thing is like we forget when someone loses like up there, but it's like look who they're losing to though. We know when you start losing to guys that obviously are not ranked or like not even because I mean Cruz, you just saw Cruz after he beat him went on to give a guy that hasn't been in the distance in a while that was in a knockout streak, even though he's fighting guys that are smaller, but like and then he's gonna lose to Rayo, and then it depends on what Rayo does, and he lost to his 2 losses came from the guy that was number
Okay.
1 guy in the lightweight division that was on a fucking ranking streak.
I'll say this, Polo. I'll say this, Polo. If Rayo struggles with him, right, or goes 12 with him, I'll start rethinking it, right? I'll say it wasn't Isak Cruz. I'll be like, okay, this guy still has something left in the tank, and the thing. But if Rayo doesn't struggle with him, he's like he blitzes him like in 2 rounds, right? And he blitzes him, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, what the hell is Isak Cruz doing? That's what I'm gonna think. So this is gonna diminish Isak Cruz.
But what if it's
unless
competitive?
it goes 12? If it's competitive, then and then if it's competitive, then it'll raise Isak Cruz's stock. I'll say.
I have a question. No, I have a question. What if it's competitive, but what if he does actually like it's competitive, but he ends up stopping him? Like obviously at first it's competitive, but right.
No. I'll get Isak Cruz will stop a race if that happens.
Because here's the thing though, Cruz beat him every round though. Cruz won every second of that fight. It was a wash, but it's like Francisco Vargas is not easy to stop. Like people forget that this guy kept coming. Like bro, he ruined a lot of careers. Like he beat guys that were
but that was in his prime though. Like in his prime, yes, I agree with you. In his prime, he was a very good fighter. In a lower weight class, he was a very good fighter. I'll give you that. But
he beat one.
He actually he trained a wild card actually too. I remember I used to see him train. I remember he used to have the Olympic tattoo on him. Yeah, he trained a wild card.
I feel like he should win with Salas a while ago, and he's with Salas too. So we'll see what's interesting. I feel like he just like because he was with I don't know who he was with because I remember at one point he was with Joel Diaz, and I did see him that he was a wild card Was he trained by Freddie Roach or was he just a
No, no,
wild
no,
card?
no, no, no. He was just a wild card. He was trained by I can't remember his name, but no, he wasn't with Freddie Roach. No, he just trained with the guys there. He
Joel
sparred. He did a
Diaz
lot of
trained him.
sparring.
Joel Diaz had him. Yeah,
No,
Joel
before it was
Diaz
before
had
Joel
him for a
Diaz.
little
It
bit.
was
I
before,
can't
yeah, it was
remember who
before
he
Joel
had.
Diaz. But yeah, I remember him. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying
I
he was
think
good in his time. Like yes, he was very good in his time. He's not in his time anymore, and he's not in the right weight class
oh
anymore.
yeah, he's
So
not.
we're
He's
gonna
definitely
see.
not. But you gotta understand with these promoters, they're just looking for these guys for the name because they'll be like, "Yo, this guy was a former world champion with Gamboa." They're just looking like, and after Gamboa beats, if Cruz beats Gamboa, they'll pass him down to like a Frank Martin or someone else. Like that's all they're gonna do. I mean, you saw that Gamboa went from Tank, Haney, and now Cruz. It's like they know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
but
They're
I don't
trying to
know. I
like,
don't think Francisco Vargas has that Gamboa name. I mean, Gamboa barely has a Gamboa name. So
yeah.
I don't think
But I
like
have a
Francisco
question.
Vargas
Gamboa
is
was
like.
done. Gamboa was done. But listen, Gamboa was done since he lost to Castellanos. If you not see that fight, Castellanos embarrassed him. Castellanos beat him every round, dropped him twice, made Gamboa quit. Like he basically Gamboa said, no more. So it's
Yeah, I
like
haven't.
he
I
beat
don't
him
think
than
Gamboa.
better than Crawford, than Haney, than Tank.
Yeah,
That was on
I
the
think
Chavez
Gamboa's.
Canelo undercard. Like, bro,
Yeah, I think Gamboa's
he
shot too. I think they're both shot. Honestly, I just think they're just trying to get these guys wins. But yeah, I think they're both shot.
but Gamboa has not been Gamboa. Yeah, Gamboa has not been the same since that loss. Like after that loss, I've never seen Gamboa. Yeah, he got a knockout with Roman Martinez, but it's like, bro, that was just for him to get built up for Tank. Be like, oh, he's coming of a knockout of a former world champion. Like, and Roman Martinez is the name. It's like that's all they were
Yeah,
doing. It's like if you pay attention, Gamboa has been done. Gamboa shouldn't even have been there with Tank or Tank. So if you want to be, it's just the name. Like he's not the same Gamboa. It's like Cruz is probably gonna beat him. I don't see how Gamboa, unless he goes in there and survives, and I think Cruz is still gonna edge it out. But it's like, come on, like I don't know. Gamboa's been done for a while, so it's like he's been shot. But I think if
yeah. No,
if
I agree
if,
with
uh,
you.
if Haney and Tank got credit for beating him, I think Cruz should get as much credit for going in there because, like I said, Gamboa went in there and
Okay,
fought those guys. So
but Styles though, you got to think Styles though. You got to think Styles, and Isaac Cruz's style is pressure and power, right? That's his thing. So if he goes in there
that's
and he
something.
can't
Yeah, and that's
blow out Gamboa, then I'm gonna be like, well, what the hell is he good at then? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be like, okay, well then this is his main thing. This is what he brings to the table, and he couldn't get Gamboa out. That's I'm gonna have high
yeah, that's
eyebrows.
true.
He's
But I think
supposed
he is
to.
gonna.
He's supposed to.
Yeah,
If you look at the betting odds, he's
yeah,
supposed to.
I
What are the
think he
betting odds?
will.
What are the betting odds on that?
It's a minus 205 for him by a knockout.
By knockout?
So he's the
That's not bad though. Those are not bad odds for him by
and
knockout.
same thing with Valenzuela. He's supposed to stop Vargas.
What are
It's
those
a
odds? Do you know?
minus 125.
Those are both not bad odds for the knockout.
They're-
I take both of those.
I would take the Rayo one more because I expect a knockout.
Yeah, I expect the knockout on that one too.
If he doesn't get a knockout, that's a huge disappointment.
Yeah, I'd really like those. Damn, yeah, I think if you listen to this, I think start betting out those two because they both should get both those guys out of there.
And put the house on Rolly too. Make it a parlay.
that third part I don't back. I don't put my name to that one, but
Man, if hey Freddie, if I do it and he fucking disappoints you, I'm gonna be mad at you. I'm like, I listen to you, Freddie. Nah, hey, all I'm gonna say, if he puts up a fight and actually, because bro, I just do not like in boxing when people say he's gonna get knocked out. Look at Fundora Lubin, bro. You were in the space. What do they say? Fundora's gonna get knocked.
yeah, but
Lubin's
that's
gonna
very
break
different
him,
though.
and you saw
That's
when
very
Fundora beat him.
different
What
though.
was the energy?
Yeah, but that's very
No,
different
bro,
though because
that's not
this guy's
different. It's
like,
about the same. They did not take Fundora seriously.
I don't know. I think that's different.
I think but that was a very, going into it, we know, hey, this is a 50-50 fight.
That's what I thought.
With these other fights, we already know who's going to win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what you're talking about would be a massive upset, Polo. Like if Gamboa beat Isaac Cruz, that'd be a massive upset.
Now it would be a monster, but I don't think he has it.
something-
I don't think he has it anymore.
No. I don't
I
think he
think-
does either. But that's why it'd be a massive.
But those are
upset,
just
'cause
like
no one
we know
thinks he has
these are
that.
fights we know, but people write
So-
off. Like I'm talking about other fights that, but like Ugas Spence. But I'm telling you, I think Cruz is gonna stop him. Like I don't see Gamboa. All of Gamboa's losses have been by stoppage except Haney.
Okay, Polo, but who do you, if you had to put your house if you had to put your house on one of these guys knocking out the other, who has a better chance of getting the knockout? Does Rayo have the better chance of getting the knockout, or does Cruz have the better chance of getting the knockout?
Well, here's the thing. It's kind of hard because like we shown that Venezuela just got power, but it's like
You know the
Francisco
answer,
Vargas.
Polo.
Like, I think I don't know because here's the thing though. I think I would put it on Cruz because Gamboa has been stopped in all his losses, and with Vargas, it's hard. I think
Gamboa hasn't been stopped in all his losses. He's actually survived the 2 left. Huh?
yeah, with only Haney, bro, he got brutally stopped by
Yeah.
Crawford.
Oh, okay. But remember, he won 12 with Tank. He won 12 with Tank.
He still got stopped, but he got stopped. Like, bro, he was
who would you take, Ezra?
obliterated.
If I would take Valenzuela knockout.
Right, because the styles, right?
Yeah. I would take that.
Look, Polo. I'll give you an
I'm
example.
telling you, they're both gonna get the stoppages.
Maybe, but if one of them wasn't going to, I would say it's Cruz and Gamboa, because on the other side, you're looking at, for one, a huge size difference because Rayo's big, bro. I know you mentioned Isak Cruz went 12 or whatever, sorry, 10 with Gamboa, but they're like the same size. Or with not Gamboa, with Vargas, but they're like the same size. But Rayo's huge, bro. And Rayo is a real, 135 pounder. And we know Vargas, even in his prime, if you look at prime versus prime, Vargas never had the boxing ability that Gamboa had in his prime. Gamboa, if he wants to survive, he's going to find a way to survive. I don't think Vargas could do that if he tried.
And I think, the diminishments for Vargas, it really hurts everything that he knows. But
here's the thing, though. But here's the thing, though, with that. It's like, bro, look who Gamboa lost to. That's fucking embarrassing. You lost to Robertson Castaños, where everybody says, like, bro, he made him quit. With Vargas, they had to throw in the towel, or they had to, like, stop it with the ref. Gamboa has, like, the worst loss ever between the two. Obviously, Gamboa's skills, but it's like, bro, it shows that Vargas had more heart than Gamboa, because Gamboa quit. And Castellanos was no, like, yeah, okay, you can say he was tired, but he had just because of that win, bro, he fought for a title shot like the next 2 months, and obviously he lost. So that would have been Gamboa. That fight was for Gamboa to fight Giselle Corrales, but they didn't expect Robinson to stop him. So I think I would, obviously I would put it because of style differences, but I think I could see Gamboa getting stuck because, like, I could see him quitting.
Hey, you know what? I think I would have really preferred if on the undercard of this fight that we're gonna watch this weekend, if instead it was Isaac Cruz versus Rayo and Gamboa versus Vargas.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better. It would have been way better matchmaking.
Great.
Yeah, it would have been way better matchmaking. I would have taken that 100%. And then we'd be arguing who's gonna get the knockout, Francisco Vargas or Gamboa, because someone was going out.
That's a pay-per-view fight, bro. Remember, that's a pay-per-view fight for $89.99. That's a PBC matter. Remember, those are pay-per-view fights, bro.
That's what, I did not expect to talk Gamboa, Isak Cruz that long. I'll be honest with you, or Rayo Valenzuela. I just asked Polo a simple question. I was just like, what do you think of?
Yeah, but it's because Polo be lying, bro.
Lying about what?
Okay, so
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Before I hopped on the camera, I dropped a comment, and you said, I don't know who that is. But then you talk about, Francisco Vargas caught a second win, and he beat notable names. And you know who those guys are, but you didn't know who I was? I don't know who those guys are.
And Polo, you're on mute, just so you know.
No, I'm talking about, like, the resume. But I'm saying he caught a second win because he was on a win streak. I said if you look at his resume, he has some good wins. Not saying right now, but obviously we know Francisco Vargas will get stopped. But I'm saying that he has heart. I don't think it's gonna be. I think Vargas actually gonna have to work for it. But like I told you from my picks, I got Cruz stopping Gamboa inside 8, and I got Rayo stopping him around the same time. Let's move on to the opening card.
Okay, what else we have on that card? Brandon Lee. Are we hyped about Brandon Lee?
I think it's a good fight.
I got him stopping.
Who is he fighting? Who's Brandon Lee fighting?
Zachary Ochoa.
Zachary Ochoa.
Let me look him up.
I think he's from New York or Philly. He's Puerto Rican, but yeah.
Zachary Ochoa. I don't think I've ever seen this guy fight, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
He was with Golden Boy for the longest time. So they did a shitty job of promoting him. He's pretty good.
Is he undefeated or how many losses?
We're picking Brandon Lee.
No, I think he's got maybe 1 or 2 losses.
I got Brandon Lee. No, I think Brandon Lee can stop him.
Yeah,
He's coming off a split decision loss. I'm guessing that's the one the Golden Boy released him for.
Yeah, I'm going with Brandon Lee.
I guess.
But huh?
No, who does Zachary Ochoa lose to? Like, how many losses does he have?
He lost to Juan Jose Velasco. He just lost. He just has 2 losses, and one's a corner stoppage, I believe.
Oh, he's getting stopped, bro. He's getting stopped. I already saw. Yeah,
he lost to the stoppage is to Yves Ulysses Jr., who I'm not familiar with as well.
I think this is Brandon Lee's toughest fight to date.
This is Brandon Lee's toughest fight. Okay, well that's a good test.
Think so.
I think it's an important test for him. He's looked good. He has like little things. I think his game needs to be rounded out a little bit more. I think he tries to power his way out of a lot of stuff. Like if he gets like in trouble, he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna try to power my shots out of this thing. So I'm curious to see if he gets in real trouble as far as like someone outboxing him, what he can do, or just a guy with at least the same physical abilities as him. I'm curious how that fight looks. So hopefully that's what we get to see from him. I don't know. I don't know what to take from him. He has a lot of power. He shows skill sometimes, but then sometimes I'm like, it just kind of doesn't seem like he's progressing enough for me. That's like I try to notice about like prospects. Like how are they progressing? What do they look like from fight to fight? Are they improving? And it kind of looks like to me he's kind of hit a wall a little bit. Like he kind of looks like the same I've seen past few performances. So if this guy's any good or any tough, I think it could probably be an interesting fight because he's just, he's been able to power his way through a lot of stuff. You get a higher skill level, you're not gonna be able to do that. So let's see what he brings to the thing. I think that Showtime's really behind him though, especially put him on this card. They're really backing him in this one. What do you think about Polo? You're on mute again, Polo.
No, I had to do. I think Brandon Lee stops him. I think this could be a showcase fight. I think Brandon Lee's gonna knock him out.
So who's on the card? So the main card is Valenzuela, I'm guessing, and then Gamboa, and then Cruz, and then Spence, right? And then on the prelims, the prelims is Busev, Stanionis, and
it's Cody Crawley, Jose Lopez.
Crawley, that's a good.
Lopez, and there's another fight. I forgot. That's the opening card.
That's the prelims. That's prelims.
I think that Jose Susito Lopez. No, that's the opening pay-per-view card.
Oh, okay. Jose Lopez has looked good lately.
That's the opening card. So it's Jose Lopez. But Cody Crawley's coming off a win that he actually beat a dude that was Spence's mandatory. So
yeah, he was. And this guy risked it all.
Yeah, Cudratillo.
Yeah, he risked it all for that fight, and then Crawley Crawley beats him, kind of outboxes him, and then see you fight Josito Lopez, who's been on, I wouldn't say, I don't want to be like Polo and say he's on a tear or, I think, but he's looked better in his performances.
You think Josito can pull it out? That'll be a major upset.
No.
I don't know. Would it be a major upset? What are the odds in that fight? I don't think it'll be a major upset.
He's an underdog, but not by a lot. He's a plus 330.
Oh, okay. So he's a good size number underdog. I think he could pull this off. I do. I think Crowley got that matchup, but I don't think that guy was anything special. I think that guy was ranked high because he played the game correctly, and then he risked that number one contender spot by fighting him. And yeah, he got upset, but I don't think that this Crowley's like, oh man, he's like something to is untouchable or some kind of dark horse in the weight division. So I think Josito Lopez could. If he starts applying his pressure like he does, I think he could definitely pull this one out. I'm not saying I pick him, but yeah, I think he'll pull this one out. What do you guys feel?
I honestly, I think no, I like Josito Lopez. He's he's a tough son of a gun, but I think Cody Crawley's gonna beat him because Cody Crawley's like undefeated. He's motivated. He wants to get repped. He, like you said on that podcast, he has a whole country behind him. That if he keeps winning, they'll get behind him. I think he's going to be Josito Lopez. I think Josito Lopez might be done.
But
you're right. He has actually.
I'm trying to see what his last fights were.
Was on the
his last fight. His last fight was against Francisco Santana. He was 25-8-1.
Yeah, and then he beats John Molina Jr. And then he has a competitive fight with Keith Thurman, a real good fight with Keith Thurman actually. He's beat Miguel.
Yeah, it was a majority decision. People say, but bro, he rocked him. He rocked Thurman in that fight.
Yeah, I like the way Josito Lopez has been looking. I feel pretty confident that he's going to put a good looking. but that's it's actually a really strong card. I mean, it's actually a really, really strong card. I wish they would have put Butev Stanionis on the main card, but I guess that they're thinking that everybody it'll be a
Thank
perfect
you.
lead
Yeah,
in.
what was the?
Are they not putting that as a co-main? I thought that was a
That was
co-main.
stupid.
No,
I
it's on the
didn't.
prelim.
Wow.
Yeah,
No,
That's a
they
put
badass.
prelim.
That's the best fight on the card, probably, other
Bro.
than the main event.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I
Because
think
they
what they're
put
thinking is that all the viewers are going to watch the free part of it. They'll get a lot of views, get a lot of eyes, and then that'll lead you to being like, oh, I want to see this card after all. So it's kind of like what Fox was doing with the PBC cards. They were putting in like a one of their top prospects in like a decent fight, and then they were like getting like a million views on that, right, on Fox. So they're thinking maybe this will get a good amount of
no.
views.
They should have.
and perfect
To be
lead-in.
honest, bro, they should have put Rayo versus Francisco Vargas because on paper, obviously, it's like it's a toe-to-toe fight. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
why would
That
you
makes
put?
sense.
But by Tua versus that's a good and plus the casuals won't really know, like they'll think that's a world title fight. It's like, what was the point of putting Gamboa versus Cruz on a co-main event? That's like your opening card. They could have took Francisco Rayo and put him on the free portion of it, and then maybe put Cruz versus Gamboa as the opener, and then put Cody Crowley because it's all welterweight. They could have made it a somewhat all welterweight card. I think they kind of I don't know what they
and
did
if you
with that. I
notice-
think that was stupid.
Where you notice that where Cruz is, that also kind of gives me a thing that they might run back that Tank fight. Might go rematch with it because why put him as the co-main, right? Like why? What are they trying to build him up for, right? I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they say like if Tank beats Broly, sorry Freddie, but if Tank beats Broly, and then they say Tank versus Isaac Cruz again because I'm surprised they didn't run that back right away. I thought that was exactly where Mayweather was going to go with it because I was like, oh, it's a fight that I thought he for sure won. But people think it's competitive. We could run that back, and he'll win more devastating the next
It
one.
was competitive.
It was
Come
competitive.
on,
I thought it
bro,
was competitive. I didn't think it
There's
was
some
close.
rounds that
I didn't think it was close, but I thought it was competitive.
you don't think it was close.
I didn't think he had a
It
chance
was
of winning.
not bro. There's rounds. Bro, I like the underdogs. He won rounds that Tank clearly lost. Like there's rounds in there that you could say Tank clearly lost. Like it was like I could agree with 7-5, but it was not a wash. Like dude, Tank was fighting on his back foot. A lot of his shots were hitting the gloves and the uppercuts. Like he barely landed any clean uppercuts, which he's known for. It's like they put something on the Premier Boxing highlights, but it's like, bro, he didn't even hit him. He hit his glove. So I think that was kind of weird. It's like the good highlights where Tank looked good. The uppercut he threw landed on his glove, and they acted like it landed on him. It's like I just thought that was funny, but I get what you're saying. But it's like I don't know. If that was me, I would have just made it a somewhat welterweight card to like throw in and then put like one of those fights. To be honest, because I don't know if Gamboa versus Cruz is co-main events. Because like if you look at Gamboa, he's coming off a loss and a somewhat long layoff. Like if he was coming on a win streak, yeah, that's what people like. These promoters need to know. It's like if you're gonna throw a fighter like that, at least have him coming on a win streak to get people attached. Like, yo, this guy was a former unified featherweight champ, super featherweight champion. He was, like the old Gamboa. Like try to sell it like if it was the old Gamboa, but then it's like he's coming off a loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just trying to showcase Isaac Cruz. Honestly, I think they're just trying to. I think they think they have something there. I think that the notoriety he got after that Tank fight, that they're just like, we have something here that's show him in a fight where he can really explode and do all the things he wants to do, and that's what they're counting. I think that's what they're banking on. They're slowly, they're slowly building their own 135 division. They got they have what's his name, Martin, right? I think his name is Martin.
Frank Martin.
Frank Martin.
They have Frank Martin. They have Ali Rivera. They have Tank. They have Isaac Cruz. Like slowly, they're building their own thing right there at 135 because they have to build that division. Especially if you're going to keep Tank, you got to build that division up. So I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to showcase it in Valenzuela, right, coming up, right? So they're slowly building that division up again, trying to build it around Tank. And you notice they're really committed to 140 as well. They're really committed to 140 as well. So obviously, because they imagine Tank will move up to 140 and maybe even 147. I'll just throw it out there.
No, I think Tank is too small. I think Tank is too small for 140, bro. I don't know. After
he fought at 140, he
only had one fight there.
Yeah, he fought Barrios. But I'm telling you, don't be surprised if he goes to 147. But let's see. Don't be surprised if he goes to 147 in the right matchup.
I don't see it. I don't see it, bro. I think he might be too small. I mean, bro, like there's not a lot of Barrios in the division, so it's like, I mean, they got
Okay, but remember,
Prograis left. That was a match that.
at one point, Pacquiao was too small. Like that was unreal. Like Pacquiao was in 147. That was like an unreal idea. Even when he fought De La Hoya, people were like, "Oh, De La Hoya just eventually lands and knocks him out."
I'll tell you the only person that I see Tank going up to 147 for, and that two people, Keith Thurman.
Yeah, I see Keith Thurman.
And or Keith Thurman or Regis Prograis. That's about it, because they're small.
Yeah, so get Prograis to go up to 147, meet him there. It's not a real 147, but who knows the difference? And do that. Yeah, I like both those fights too. I think Keith Thurman's the most realistic one. I think that Ellerby had brought it up already. He doesn't bring that up for no reason. There's definitely been kicked around a little bit. Why isn't Keith Thurman getting the Crawford fight?
You might as well.
You know, why isn't that the rumor?
Yeah,
why was Danny Garcia the rumor first? Danny Garcia was the rumor before Keith Thurman was. Why? Because they're saving Keith Thurman for something. I think they might be saving him for a Tank Thurman fight, which is like Pacquiao De La Hoya, because De La Hoya is on his way out and Pacquiao's on his way up, and he has the power, and they think this is the perfect, this is a perfect matchup. And why do Keith Thurman fight Barrios? Is that a measuring stick fight for Tank? That's what I think. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yo, what do you guys think of Tank Davis versus Adrian Broner?
Who?
I would like that. Tank Davis versus Broner.
Tank versus Adrian Broner. That's a more realistic matchup in my opinion.
But they're friends. They're friends.
Oh, that matters, man. Come on, man. You're not trying to get paid. Like that would be a sellout right there.
It would be.
Yeah, that'd be a huge fight. It would be a huge fight. And I don't mind the thinking either, because Broner's not that big at 147. He's never really been that successful at 147. So I think that's a good matchup.
I would like Broner versus Cobbs.
I like that fight too. That's what I think. I think the zone will like that fight too.
It'll sell itself.
Yeah, that would sell itself. I actually was really disappointed when Cobbs lost. I'll be honest with you.
Me too. I wanted him to win.
I was disappointed
I wanted him to win. Yeah, I wanted him to win. What do they do with Rocha? I think is Rocha. A lot of people were saying that when they were talking about a mega fight for Conor Ben, people were saying Rocha, and I was like, oh, that's not a mega fight. So they said that was a mega fight. I mean, they
that's not a mega
fight.
No,
it's not a mega fight. That's but Conor Ben could fight anyone then, and then if that's a mega fight that he can fight anyone, there's no reason to even take that chance.
Rocha doesn't move the needle like that.
Yeah, no. So I think when they're talking about Conor Ben,
he's coming off a.
Well, I think if they're talking about Conor Ben in a mega fight, right? If they're talking mega fight, they're talking Virgil Ortiz. I think if that's what they're saying, right? Then you got to think, right? Who do they have?
I think you're right. They'll feed Rocha to Ortiz.
Oh, I think they'll do that. I can see that, but I also see Conor Ben versus Ortiz. I don't know why wouldn't Matchroom take that chance? Because you got to think, in Europe they don't care if their guys lose. Like Chisora has lost a lot of fights, and he can still pack a stadium fighting. So I think that,
but I think.
But
no, bro. I keep hearing from but I talk to the UK guys. I think Rocha is actually a good fight. That's what they've been. So I honestly, I think in the UK, Rocha would sell. Like that's a big fight in the UK. I understand if you're saying that, hey, what do you get? But I think the Ortiz fight might be down the line later. I don't think they're gonna make Ortiz versus Conor Ben right now. I like Conor Ben. Don't get me wrong.
I went to a Rocha fight, and it was a good turnout. But you know why it was a good turnout? Because everybody thought Virgil Ortiz was going to fight on the main event. I seen the fans for Rocha, and it wasn't like he brought like a whole pack of things to him. So he's no way he's going to be like, oh, that's the guy we need to bring to UK. There's no way you can call that a mega fight or anything like that. That's the fight that Eddie Hearn grossly oversold that mega fight. You grossly overused the word mega. But I tell you, I think Conor Ben versus Virgil Ortiz is actually possible because neither of them have anywhere to go. Why? What are they waiting for? Conor Ben's like 27 years old. Bro, Virgil Ortiz is right there ready to go.
Conor Ben is only 24. Conor Ben is not old, bro.
I think Conor Ben's 26. 26,
no, he's
27.
not. Look it up. Bro, he's young. Like, Conor Ben is... I like Conor Ben, bro. No, but I'm saying that could be down the line a mega fight because what if they both get a hold of titles? Like, you never know. And I think Conor Ben...
Oh, he's 25. We're in the middle, so I'm not going to say I'm wrong. I'm not going to say you're right. We're just in the middle. We're right in the middle of each other.
No, I was right. I was
by the time
you were 2 years off. You
said
said 27 first.
Yeah, I can't see Alexis Rocha being in any mega fight because I don't see him being like he's not a mega fighter. I went to his Instagram right now. He has 18,000 followers, right? Which is not a lot.
No, it's more than I thought though.
It is. It's more than I thought.
Yo,
but
I think
I
if you
go-
go to Cepeda, like from Golden Boy, I think he has 200. So
I don't have to go to Blair Cobb's Instagram to know that he has more followers. Like
yeah,
through that fight, Blair Cobbs moved the needle. He sold it, bro.
yeah, he did.
He sold it.
Yeah.
bro,
I think
Blair
so.
Cobbs, man.
I tuned in because of Blair Cobbs. If not, if it had been Rocha against who was the guy that was supposed to fight?
McKinnon.
McKinson. Oh, that
Okay, if
dude.
it had been
that
Rocha
dude
versus
can box.
McKinson, I wouldn't have watched the fight. To keep it
Yeah,
real.
honestly, I was trying to get Cobb to get to the main event versus McKinson. I was thinking I was hoping they would do that. I was like, oh man.
No, I think Cobbs would have beat him, bro. Cobbs, if
I
he's
know I
aggressive,
wanted it.
dude,
Well, I don't know if he would have beat him because McKinson's actually.
no, he
pretty
would have beat
decent,
him. He
like,
would have beat him.
boxing.
No, McKinson can box, but I don't
Yeah,
know,
he's
man.
pretty
If Cobbs got power, he could drop him. But that dude does not want to extend. I wanted to see. I wish they would have built Cobbs up a little bit more and then made him in there with like Virgil because that fight would have solved. But it's like, bro, Cobbs is very entertaining. I don't care what anybody says.
I think that's the direction they were heading. So that's why I don't Virgil versus Rocha. I don't think that's like an insane thing to think because I think that's actually makes a lot of sense, especially when you need Virgil on a comeback fight. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Definitely. But we'll see what ends up happening. He can still fight. I want to see Virgil versus David Nasinishin just to like get that final eliminated. But I think it's his manager that doesn't want to make that fight because Virgil could beat him. Like, bro, Virgil watched the dude
I
that
don't. Yeah, I don't understand the fear for Evanesian, or I don't understand even like this sudden thing where people
Virgil
are saying that
Ortiz.
like. Yeah, I don't understand the sudden thing where everybody's afraid of Evanesian because I don't believe that they are, but like that's the thing now. Like he's a boogeyman or something like that. It's like nah, we know what level Evanesian is. He didn't get a lot better from that. Like what is his biggest win? Shane Mosley, like at like 40 something years old. Like yeah, it's like that's his biggest win. Like if people are like Josh Kelly, like unproven Josh Kelly, like who's more reliant on Instagram than Ryan Garcia. Yeah. On Instagram, he does. On the actual fight, he always falls apart. Like he does stuff on Instagram that I'm like, okay, that looks pretty cool.
I like what he does. Yeah.
Yeah, but he hasn't shown that in a fight.
Though. I mean, I like him some. I've seen him a couple times, but obviously, I just think that David Nash, because he was winning that fight, bro. If you didn't see, bro, he was up.
He was.
It was just like
he started breaking down. As the fight went on. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He had him missing. Like he had good. Yeah, I just think it was just like it was just a matchup it was just one of those matches that he broke down, but it's like, damn, bro, he had potential, but it is what it is. I like the skill was. Obviously, I knew that, it was too early, but I liked how he looked in some fights where he had that slick style, but it is what it is, bro. It happens.
All right, boys. We're in an hour 40 here. That's about the longest podcast I think I've ever done. With Polo, I noticed that Polo me and you go about 2 hours. So I noticed it's about 70% of you talking, which I appreciate. You bring a lot of content, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, man.
Friendly, thanks for joining. Appreciate you taking the time to get on my podcast. Guys, follow Box Talk. The 5 people that I have listening, Box Talk 101. Follow his page, YouTube page, and Polo will get you a YouTube page soon enough. We have to. And you can't be afraid to show your face.
Yeah,
that's the thing. As soon as you're not camera shy anymore, that's when I know you'll be ready for a YouTube page. Because I don't think people are going to listen to you to a talking screen with no face there. So as soon as you're not camera shy anymore, and people can see what you look like in Minnesota, I think that's when.
No, I got you. No, I was just I got off work, but I'm a bit tired, so it's like I'm just chilling right now.
I'm just.
That's why you catch you every time I get off. That's why. Don't worry, when I get dressed up and stuff, you'll see me, and I'm gonna be at the fights and stuff. I'm gonna be at the Fulton Ramon fight. That might be my first video.
Oh, you gotta take a picture with your boy, Artman. You gotta take a picture of Artman. I got an Artman tee. I'll send it to you. You can wear it.
Oh, thank you, man. Hey, does it smell like black and mild?
It smells like a black and mild. It smells like a black and mild. I was like, when I opened it, I was like, damn, did someone just start smoking in my house? All right, guys. I appreciate it.
Peace. All right. Peace out, bro.